Hello. I think we're here now. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this game. I'm Jess. I will be your DM this evening. My pronouns are she, her, or they, them. And thank you so much for joining us for this game in support of Jasper's Game Day. You can find the links up above to click for more information, and you can donate at the link in the center, which I think it's one of these. Anyway, the link is right there in the center of the screen for you to donate, and it's also in chat. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will go around the table and introduce all of our wonderful players this evening. So let's go around in the order on the stream. So it looks like Chris. Why don't you tell us your name and pronouns and your character's name and pronouns, please?
Hey, my name's Chris. I'm Chris. I'm a he, a him. Sorry, a bit early in the morning for me, so I'm just trying to get my brain around everything. I will be playing the half-orc sorcerer called Jin, who is a remarkable ex-army cook looking for a venture. And I will hand over to our next wonderful character.
Next, we've got Matt.
I'm muted. Matt, he, him. I'm being a fancy Mistopheles tiefling, EO, a warlock today.
Awesome, thank you. And Greg?
Greg, he, him. I am playing, you see a very attractive model-like male Asimar carrying a velvet pillow upon which there is a fluffy white Persian kitty with wearing a tiara and has spouting wings. And then in your head, you hear that I'm Queen Silken Whispers Fuzzy Bottom, divine emissary of the Cat Lord, and her pronouns are she, her.
Awesome. And Melody?
Howdy, y'all. My name's Melody, and I'll be playing Darlin' Darla. And I just want to thank you all for being here today. And I'm so excited to be adventuring with y'all. And thank y'all for the donations. Just bless your heart. Y'all as sweet as pie.
Thank you. And Josh?
Yeah, hey, what's up? My name is Josh. Today I'll be playing Kaladin. He's Paladin, the Platinum Dragon. And, he's kind of a pretty cool guy. A bit chipper, a bit friendly.
Awesome. Thank you all so much for joining us. So we are going to be playing my adventure from the Book of Seasons Equinoxes called Sister Rabbit, Sister Spring. So this starts out with all of you meeting up in the town of Almirage Grove. You have just arrived here for an incredible green grass celebration that all of you have heard of this festival before, and you're all very excited to come. And on your way in, Queen Silken Whisker Fuzzy Bottom regaled you with some very useful information. Greg, do you want to share what information Queen Silken Whisker shared on the way in?
I spent some time telling everyone how amazing I was and how important it is as the divine emissary of the Cat Lord that you direct your worship towards me. And if you do manage to listen to me for a good solid 10 minutes, everybody will get their 12 temporary hit points.
Excellent. Thank you. And also you can donate throughout the game to cause wild magic surges or to allow characters to re-roll. But before we get to the bulk of the adventure, why don't we just really quickly, I'm going to just make this random. Let's see. Josh, what is one thing that Caladan now appreciates about the great cat after hearing Queen Silken Whiskers' speech?
Well, if we're being honest, he would probably say he really appreciates it when Queen Silken Whiskers stops talking. But if he had to answer that question to Queen Silken Whiskers' face, he'd probably say something about, just being impressed at how wonderful so many great deities are, especially, particularly the queens.
It's the Cat Lord. He's one of the fairy lords.
Yeah, it's it's very cool.
Excellent. Very, very convincing. I like it. And let's see. Matt, What is one thing that EO is excited about to see at this green grass celebration, this celebration of springtime?
Um, I guess just the trappings, the decorations. We'll see the town at its finest because they should have put their best face forward.
And indeed, as you approach the town, you hear lots of murmuring. You hear lots of almost excited voices. You can tell as you're approaching Almirage Grove that you were approaching a town with many, many people outside, around one another. It's hard to tell from this distance exactly what they're saying, but as you get closer, you can actually hear that some of these voices are raised in anger. And when you arrive into town, what you see is not the beautiful trappings you were expecting. You do see just vines and garlands and plants covering almost every building, almost every square inch of every building. But all of these plants are dead and wilted and drooping and falling away from these buildings. And as you get closer, you can hear the voices are not talking, they're not ringing out in excitement so much as anger and fear and frustration. When you get a little bit deeper into town, you can see a large group of people are gathered together, all muttering amongst each other, all looking, pointing at all of these like dead flowers, all of these dying decorations, and muttering to one another and pointing around and whispering at one another. Why don't you all go ahead and make me our first roll of the evening, or morning in some people's case, a wisdom check, a perception check.
15.
20.
18 for me.
15.
19.
Okay. So a couple of you, everyone who got above a 16, you notice that there is it looks like a person with bright red hair, who sort of like sneers around at everyone in the town and then leans over really close to someone with this very dark green hair, leans over and seems to whisper something into their ear. And the person with green hair, this elf, listens for a moment and then nods and steps into the center of this mass crowd of people, and everyone quiets as this elf with green hair steps forward. And this elf says, "We know who is responsible for this, and it's time we do something about it. You all, I don't even have to say it. You know what I'm suggesting. Someone has to go into the forest, find that spirit, and rid us of it for good." And as soon as this person is done speaking, more murmurs rise up, and this person is sort of drawn back into the crowd. And because there's all of this murmuring happening, and because it's this huge festival, people are coming from all over and to Almirage Grove to see this Green Grass Festival. No one really notices you, but you can tell that this person with green hair seems to be sort of in charge here. What would you all like to do?
Shall we go talk to the person in charge? I mean, other than me, of course.
Of course.
Yes, naturally. I think the best person to talk to is always the person in charge because they're going to know what's going on.
Excellent. I point my little paw and I say, "Uber, forward!" And my little Asimar walks me forward, carrying the pillow.
Your SMR named Uber.
Yes. He walks me around. I don't fly unless I really have to. It's not my way.
I mean, of course, when you have Uber to take you everywhere.
Exactly. As long as Uber gets to eat, Uber Eats is necessary.
Very
Inspiration.
necessary.
Yes, got there.
Yes.
Within what, like 10 minutes? I'm gonna say I'm winning D&D.
Yeah, that's it. You just won D&D.
That's how you win.
Bye, everyone.
win.
Thanks for playing.
That's it. Good puns get you inspiration from this DM, and that is how you win D&D. So thank you, Melody. You just won all of D&D. Goodbye forever, everyone.
My retirement
Yes.
will be spent. No, I'm kidding.
As,
all right.
as the queen's making her way forward to the red hair, I imagine the person with red hair. I imagine she's making an awful lot of presents. Jin's going to quietly slip round and try and make his way there first, if possible, to try and avoid the cavalcade that the Queen brings with her every time.
I'm
I
in
love
certainly
it.
no hurry.
Yes.
Absolutely.
How are you trying to slip around the queen?
Uh,
Like, are
literally,
you trying to be stealthy or go ahead?
no, there's just a cavalcade. So literally sidestep that cavalcade. You know the bit where somebody's walking through and they're causing all that noise and distraction, people stopping? I'm going around the back of them, just walking around to that one and watching this fanfare happen before me.
Beautiful. Yes, you get to the green-haired elf first before the queen can, because she's, you know, sort of waving her paws about being the queen, basking in the presence. Absolutely. So you get to the green-haired elf, who seems to be the leader first. What do you want to say to this person?
Good morning. I believe you're struggling with something. I've come here to purchase some of your wonderful herbs and other garnishes for food. But if you're having a problem, I have a remarkable group of people with me, uh, and points to the Queen and the entourage coming up there. Little bit loud, but they know what they're doing. But and if I can humbly suggest, you don't take them at appearance, take them at the word. And step back and see what they say.
Inspiration for that shade on your group. Love it. Stepping right in with that shade, big fan. Yes, this person seems sort of startled at first because they saw the sort of like entourage approaching, and then you kind of like sidestepped into their view. Uh, uh, yes, we are having a problem. As you can see, there are no herbs for you to purchase because everything has died. All of the plants, all of the flowers, the vegetables, our harvest, all of it is just simply dead. If if you really think you can help, I certainly wouldn't turn you away. We we need to do something about the spirit in the forest.
If we can step to one side and then wait till my wondrous friends get here, then we can talk as a group rather than you just talk to me. I suggest just wait a few minutes and just take them aside and wave the family.
Certainly. And does the sort of parade of the queen's entourage step to the side?
Yeah, if I saw the wave, I would even possibly surpass and like expedite the procession to get up there, like knowing that it's not just, a parade. There's a job to do. So Darling Darla can get serious when she needs to, y'all. So she'll just go on.
Sometimes the best way to get to where you need to be is a straight line. So I might bypass the procession as well, seeing that, and just kind of head straight to where we need to be, rather than kind of do the winding bit where everyone reveres you, which of course, hey, Queen deserves all of the respect that she gets, but while she's doing that, we'll get the business done.
I take a while to mark everyone and rub my chin on them, make sure everyone is well marked as mine.
I mean, sure, you can't have anyone meeting any other cats while they're
Right.
off talking to people. I get it.
Exactly.
Unacceptable. It's a catastrophe.
Oh.
You already have inspiration.
I know. Can I share it to someone?
You can.
I mean,
Who would
they're
you
gonna
like to
happen
give your
anyway.
inspiration?
My cat queen, obviously.
As is right and true. Thank you.
It was a cat pun after all.
It makes perfect sense.
We're all gonna
sense.
earn that 18-hour nap.
All right, so everyone sort of slowly makes their way over to this green-haired elf, who introduces themselves as Halek. And once you were all sort of together, Halek explains sort of what's going on. They repeat what they've already mentioned, that all of the plants are dead, all of the herbs, the flowers. It's a green grass celebration. It's the point of this is to celebrate the coming of spring. There should be beautiful flowers blooming typically, and if any of you have been to this festival before, you know that it's gorgeous. It's this beautiful displays of like flower arches and garlands everywhere, and all sorts of plants, the most amazing, just the most amazing greenery you've ever seen, and all of it right now is dead. And so Hulk tells you, there's we believe what's happening is there's a spirit who lives in the forest, and that spirit is has cursed us. It has caused our Greengrass Festival to fail. The the it's just not right. We have to do something about that trickster in the forest. Please, will you go put an end to that trickster?
Well, sure. What can you tell us about the trickster?
Well, typically they don't do anything this severe. It's annoying, but they've hunted this forest for years, for generations maybe, and anyone who goes into the Forest of Whispers knows that there is a dangerous trickster spirit in there who, if you cross that spirit, you might not come out alive. But it's usually, even when it's usually only one person, which it's even that is bad, of course, but this puts our entire town in danger. Our crops have died. They've this The spirit has angered the goddess that helps our crops grow. We're all in danger here.
What's different? Why has the spirit changed what it's doing? What have you done differently?
We haven't done anything. We do our same greengrass traditions that we've been doing for generations. Before the festival, we spend the week leading up to the festival traveling into the forest to gather flowers to decorate the buildings. But it's been no different this year than it has been in other years. It's We have no idea why it's happening.
So
Well,
y'all
he's
haven't.
trying. Sorry, go ahead.
No, no, mine's.
I was just say while he's trying to talk, I do make sure to rub up against him. So
Holly, when you rub up against them, is sort of like, oh, okay.
leave some fur on him.
So y'all haven't started watering your crops with electrolytes? Because I know some people think that electrolytes are what plants crave,
You
but I
already have
assure you
inspiration.
they are not. I'd like
No.
to.
Go ahead.
That can go to Matt if you so choose to give me an inspiration.
Matt, you now have inspiration for that. It's what plants crave.
The whole night, just so you all know. The
Just
whole
nonstop.
night.
I love it. I'm not going to be able to focus.
Ah.
No, we haven't been using electrolyte on our plants. It's the
Well,
Forest of Whispers has always sort of lived on its own. We've never needed to do anything to encourage its growth. The goddess takes care of that. She sees to the growth and health of the forest. The only explanation is that the trickster did this, and the trickster needs to be stopped. You can ask anyone. That's what's happening here.
I can respect that. That is how you view this situation. Um, I I would like to help you, um, and I'm sure that my group would as well. Um, so, what is your goddess's name, and what generally appeases her?
Her name is Eulania. She she is known for her spring deep in the forest that she fills with tears, and that is the spring that breathes life into the Forest of Whispers. It's typically this festival is what appeases her. We celebrate her at this festival. We put up these flowers and these plants as a way to honor all that she has done for us, and this is why she continues to provide us with a good harvest the rest of the year.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Bless your heart. Is it possible that she is dehydrated from all that crying into a spring?
Well, I'm sure I wouldn't know.
All right. Well, okay. Okay. Well, bless your heart. We'll look into it.
Jin slides up to Darla. It's time to go and have a look, Darla. I think the Queen's up to her tricks again.
Um,
She seems to be rubbing up against people, a lot of people, like a lot of people.
It's my
And
right to claim them. They're all mine.
That's
yeah,
very understandable. Yes. I thank you so much for your time. Again, you have been sweet as pie. Bless your heart, honey. And I
um,
will.
and Jin, Chris, we did get a donation for a wild magic surge. So I'm gonna say this happens as you try to like sidle up and get things going again. Go ahead and roll a D100 for me.
36, Jess.
36. Let's see. Thank you to Doug in Texas for that
Doug.
wild magic surge.
Yeah.
Uh,
We love
that
you.
roll a d10.
Oh, okay. Sure. A 1. Oh dear. Okay. Well, thanks everybody. It was lovely playing.
No, it's not that bad. You become 1 year younger. So as you are sort of yeah, that her flip is how you is how you know that you've gotten younger. As you sort of like sidle up, you sort of feel something strange happening, and you just sort of have this moment of like, oh, I feel like I did on my last birthday suddenly. I feel sort of refreshed.
Botox.
Yeah, a little bit of yeah, you there's just something about it that like you suddenly feel slightly, you feel exactly 1 year younger.
Have you been eating the good canned food? Your head fur looks so much shinier.
It's all the brushing we've been doing.
Ah, yes, the brushing is very important. Several hours a day.
And
Don't be
Matt,
soaked
you
inside.
also got a wild magic surge from Doug in Texas. So can you also roll me a D100? As Jin is sort of like basking in their new 1 year younger youth. You feel something wash over you as well.
That is a 61.
All right, 61. For the next minute, you must shout when you speak. So you feel something strange just sort of like come over you, and you look over and you see that Jin is just looks, can't quite place your fingers on it, but you just looks 1 year younger.
Where are we going?
It's very convenient timing that you actually just asked that. I was about to ask you what your thoughts on this whole proceeding are. You've been a little quiet recently. What do you think of all this?
I'm afraid of the trickster's trickiness.
Well, that's very fair for something that's called a trickster. Well, that would make sense.
And tears.
Right.
You're not normally this loud, EO. Are you okay?
Your younger ears are like more, you can hear better now, right? So it's even worse.
That year of metal's gone.
As you get older, like say 7, 8, you do tend to lose some hearing.
Mm-hmm. Realistically, though, cats have selective hearing anyway,
True.
so it's so hard to tell.
What did you say?
Exactly. Oh, bless your heart.
So as Jin, you feel this sort of like sudden youthfulness. Eo, you're suddenly shouting everywhere, and Halleck just sort of shakes their head and says, it's the work of the trickster. It's getting into town now. We've got to do something. That's simply too much. This is too far into Almirage Grove. They've never done their tricks in town before. And you see the red-haired person that some of you noticed earlier whispering into Halleck's ear, sort of leans in and whispers something into their ear again. And Halleck says, we have to kill that trickster. There's no other way. There's we this can only be bad fortune.
Where does one look for? Where do I send my minions to look for the
Question mark.
trickster spirit?
Well, it's difficult to say exactly. We know that they live in the Forest of Whispers. You could try to ask around. Some people have traveled through the Forest of Whispers as they come in and out of town. But for the most part, there's no one place in the forest to find them. You'd have to just venture in and try to find them.
Right. I'm just a little curious. Can I tell what exactly it is that this person with the red hair has whispered into the ear of the person with the green hair? It seems like, it's an interaction. It's kind of curious.
Yeah, do you want to roll to see if you heard what they said? Is that what you said?
Sure. Or just to kind of like try to perceive like what type of a thing that relationship looks like. Like, is this I could do a perception or an insight, perhaps. Just I'm trying to like suss out what the exact nature of the relationship is.
Certainly, yeah. And like you said, either perception or insight is fine.
I'm gonna prefer insight because I'm proficient in that. Yeah, but it's a terrible roll. It's a 13.
So as you sort of try to like get a closer look at this person, you can't tell for sure, but it seems like this if nothing else, it seems like Halek trusts this person. Maybe almost like an advisor sort of role. Maybe not exactly that, because this person, the red-haired person, seems to be staying a little bit farther out of the commotion. They just sort of like come in every so often to kind of like mention something to Halek, and Halek just sort of seems like encouraged to say like, "You're right. Yes, we do have to do this thing here."
All right.
Does it seem like they're magically ensorcelled as a Fey-related type person?
You can. Do you want to roll me an Arcana?
I would love to. Sure. What do we got? That is a magic 12.
Nice. And also really quickly, we are $360 away from 24K. Get us those wild magic surges and get us to $24,000 raised. Thank you so much, everyone.
Your queen demands it.
Your queen demands more wild magic surges. So you said you got a 12. So you are able to determine, it doesn't seem like there's any sort of like enchantment magic or anything going on here. It really just seems like this is someone that that Hulk knows, and they're just sort of like leaning in to say like, hey, have you thought about what about this other thing? And Hulk is like, good point.
Jess, Jen slip up to this red-headed individual and then adroitly just low bow and say, sorry, we missed your name. You seem to be someone who knows where to go to see these spirits are.
Oh, my name is Spark. I don't know exactly where the spirit is, but I would certainly be willing to help where I can. I understand the dangers of this trickster, and I want this trickster dealt with as much as anyone. You see the damage they've caused to this town.
Well, that's strange. I see much younger this town, so this seems a wondrous thing, and I'm looking for more of the magic around here. But if you would be so kind to point us towards these springs you mentioned, the Spring of Tears, would that be a starting point?
Roll insight for me real quick.
Sure. Insight, you say? Oh,
Yes.
14, thank you.
So you notice that when you mention the spring, he looks almost scared for a moment, and sort of like gathers himself and says, "Well, I don't know where the spring is exactly. That would be the place to find the goddess of the forest. I don't know that that would be the place to find the trickster, however. Especially considering, look what the trickster has done. They've ruined the goddess's celebration. I can't imagine the trickster would be caught dead near the spring.
We're very good at getting lost in forests. So,
That's
if
true.
direction and give us some food, we'll
I
get
don't
lost
really
and
like
probably
the
find the
outside.
trickster.
Well, I'd be happy to take you as far as I can into the forest, but it's easy to get lost in the forest of whispers. If you'd like, I can lead you as far as I can.
Sounds a dreadful idea, but let's do it.
All right, are you all ready to head into the forest of whispers?
Yeah, let's do it.
I will telepathically suggest to the others. So, it seems to me if someone was to poison the goddess's pond, that would perhaps spread the evil throughout the town. It might actually be a pretty good place to look. I don't know where this person that you've hired wishes to take us, but that seems like where I would go. I will leave it to you, minions, to decide the best path.
What a gracious queen.
Very,
Surprise me with your
Magnanimous.
brilliance.
very kind of you, Queen. We appreciate your trust.
Yes. I'm going to put that trust in you, especially whenever there is any form of manual labor or combat or anything that does not involve, well, I guess lunch.
Right, right. We'll just take care of all that then, and let you know if we need anything.
So Jin hefts his packs again and the Queen's pack, and then we walk towards wherever the woods are, please, Jess.
All right, you head toward the forest, and Spark will sort of lead along, leading you toward the forest. And as you enter the first sort of copse of trees, we've got a wild magic surge for Greg.
Oh.
All right.
Thank you, Jen.
I have a 23.
Let's see. Your skin turns a vibrant shade of blue. So I guess that's up to you if it happens to the queen or to Uber.
Whichever you think is more appropriate for the story.
I think it's so appropriate that it happens to the queen because I don't think she would like that very much to see her to suddenly have bright blue fur.
I'm torn. Oh, sorry.
No, I'd be pretty blue about that if I was you too. Like, I mean,
Does
You
anyone
have to-
not have inspiration right now? Because anyone who doesn't have it, you get inspiration.
I think with that, everyone has one.
God, you got to start using your inspiration.
As a,
'cause it
as a
appears I can make
representative
it happen.
of the fairy court, you get used to these sorts of things. They happen quite a bit. They're usually not to me. I try and clean it off for a while before I realize it's not going to work.
All right, so now the queen is bright blue. And it sort of happens almost like as a wave, like it happens just as you enter the forest, and almost like as you cross the threshold, you sort of like turn blue, like front to back. And as it happens, Spark looks back and says that, it starts like this, these harmless little pranks. That's why the trickster was left alone for so long in the forest of whispers, because it seemed harmless, these little fun things, turning blue, de-aging a year. It's completely harmless, isn't it? But many have died in this forest. That spirit is dangerous. There are some who say they watched their traveling companions die before their very eyes, and then, not an hour later, they see a shadow moving, and it transforms itself into their dead friend and follows them through the forest, whispering their fears back at them all through the night. That's where this forest gets its name, the Forest of Whispers. You have to be careful with this trickster. you won't be safe as long as that trickster lives.
I just have a question. When did all of this start turning so incredibly dark? From fun to fatal. When did the trickster start changing his or her ways?
It's been very gradual over the past year or so. Uh, Nobody really saw it coming, but it's especially bad now that the trickster has messed with the festival. This is where it gets. Now the townspeople can't ignore it any longer. It affects all of them now.
Okay. Okay. Well,
When
I
did
guess
you
you
come to
didn't
town?
know any better at the time, so that's fine. Everything's fine.
I came to town um a little less than a year ago. So I'm hearing all of this secondhand. I've only ever known the trickster as something dangerous. And I got a wild magic surge. Thank you, Joe Grover. I can't wait to see what happens. Let's see. So I rolled 54, which is you are immune to being intoxicated by alcohol for the next 5d6 days, which doesn't impact me exactly. So I am going to roll to see which one of you it impacts. That, let's see. 1, 2, that will be EO.
Hmm.
Immune
Okay.
to intoxication.
Just stay sober forever now, or 6 days. What?
It was 5d6. You can
5D.
roll 5d6 to see how long you'll be sober for.
18. All right, 16. 16 days.
All right. So
Yeah.
now would be a great time to get into a drinking contest because you would just win.
Mhm.
Right.
So, this trickster is dangerous? That sounds like a little more than just tricky.
That's what I've been saying, but no one ever believes me. No one took it seriously enough until all of this happened.
Maybe you should have like changed the branding there. Went from the trickster to the murderer, and people might have a little more scared there.
Maybe, but as I said, I'm newer to town. People were already referring to the spirit as the trickster. I've only ever known the trickster, as you said, as the murderer.
Okay.
But people wanted to believe they're harmless.
It worked for you when you sold us on this, though, because I thought the trickster, but now I'm in the woods. It's a murderer. Yeah.
It's easier to see once you're inside the Forest of Whispers. It's dangerous in here.
Did you move to Almirage Grove to be a political advisor?
No. I came to be an herbalist. I'm an herbalist by trade. Uh, I occasionally play the flute. A little bit of everything. It just so happened that Hulk and I, Hulk listens. They understand when I started talking about how dangerous this trickster was. Nobody wanted to listen, but people listened to Hulk and they were listening to me. So things happen.
Telepathically to my friends. As a cat, I don't really trust anyone, but I really don't trust this guy.
Mm-hmm.
I know everyone's out to get me, but I think this guy might also be out to get you.
Yeah.
All right. As Spark is leading you a little bit farther, a little bit deeper into the forest, you notice something strange. Just sort of in the middle of the forest path here, you start to see more and more patches of what should be flowers, which should be like gorgeous blooming flowers, and they all seem to be covered with this like this strange thick substance. You're not quite sure what it is, but everywhere you look, the deeper you get into this forest, this substance seems to be everywhere. And
Yes, can we?
oh, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, would it be possible to go and, as a chef, go and have a look at it and see if that substance is natural or mold or something along those lines?
Yeah, go ahead, and you can do investigation or perception.
And at the same time, try and get some of the blue fur from the queen just as I go past.
Are you trying to sneak?
I do that part where I raise my back end so you can do the full pet, like get any loose fur out of there. Come on, get those fingers in there.
Just try and get a handful of fur. You know those little cat balls you get?
Oh, and we just hit 24K. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank
that is
you.
fantastic. Let's keep it going. Let's get to 25. Get us those wild magic surges. We're
can
having
do
so
that.
much
I
fun
believe
with
in
them
you.
already.
I'm so taken with grabbing the fur. I have no idea what this is. 6.
Yeah, unfortunately, you're not able to understand it just from maybe you just don't quite hit close enough because you get a little bit distracted by this bright blue and just incredibly soft fur.
So, if I may, real fast, just like time out from the game and make a thing as Melody. For the donators, for the viewers, thank you. And I just have an idea. If you want me to make a pun, donate. If you want me to stop making puns, that's a big donation. But some of you may think it's worth it because this will continue the whole time. So, I don't know, Daddy Warbucks. Figure out the prices. You've watched me game for a little while, so you know how ridiculous this can get. But just a quick idea. You control the puns with your money and your gold pouches. So there you go.
A lack of puns would be catastrophic.
See, I think so as well, which is why it should be a bigger donation. But it's for such a good cause, I can probably keep my mouth shut for a little bit, maybe. So, Daddy Warbucks, that's on you. Thank you.
I love it. Thank you for that, Melody.
Yes. Thank you. Sorry, please proceed. I apologize for stopping.
I seem to recall that the person accompanying us said that they were an ableist, right? Perhaps they might be able to assist Jin in trying to figure out what it is that this sticky thing is along the plants here. Is it something that you'd be willing to do?
Oh, I don't know how much help I would be. I can try, but as I said, this murderer, as you said, is very dangerous, and if it has anything to do with them, this might be as far as I can take you into the forest. They do sort of like lean, not even quite like leaning down into the space of the strange substance that you're seeing. Like it's clear they're trying to stay very, very far away from it. And they sort of like lean back and shake their head and say, "No, I'm sorry. I don't think I don't think I can help figure out what that is. Something the trickster has done, the murderer has done to damage all of the plants."
Yes, do we get the sense that Sparks has seen this before, or this is completely avoiding it?
Roll insight for me.
I'm stopping using D&D Beyond. I'm going back to dice. That's a 1.
You have no idea. As you look over at Spark and try to study him, you're just not getting anything off of him. It's not clear
it's the
at all.
fur in my eyes now. It's just all over the place.
Exactly. All you can see is blue fur. So the next thing, as you're all sort of like standing around near this strange substance, and Spark is sort of like, "Ooh, I don't know if I can be part of this." I'm gonna have you all roll a d6 for me.
I got a 1.
Three.
Yeah. 2.
5, 2. Okay, let's do this one at a time. Let's start with the 2. So that is going to be a Jin. You suddenly feel, you get sort of like a itchiness in your scalp for a second, and very suddenly flowers start to bloom from your hair and bloom all around into a beautiful flower crown that releases a very pleasant smell. Did we have 2 1s or just 1 1? A 1. Um, which of you have a staff or a sword as your weapon? Do any of you?
Ever rapier.
That'll do.
Rod.
Yeah, I've
Yep.
got a longsword.
Longsword. So all 3 of you, you feel something strange wherever your weapon is being held. And when you look down at it, you see that it looks very strange. All 3 of you, go ahead and make a wisdom saving throw for me.
Row.
It's 23.
18.
18.
17.
17. Okay, so you see that it looks very strange for a second, but then you blink and it seems to be back to normal. Everything seems fine.
It's fine. Everything's fine. It's fine, y'all.
All right, what were the other d6 rolls? We got the 1 and the 2 so far.
I have a 3.
A 3, a 5. And Greg, did we get yours? Also a 1?
I had the 1. The one.
You
that
had the 1.
Yeah.
So let's see. This is Darlin Darla. You notice something you notice a very strange feeling on your hands. And when you look down at them, they seem to be excreting some sort of goo.
Oh, I just can't right now. Oh, that is just goo-rific. I can't even. What is happening? Goo. Mm-mm. Is there like grass or something that I can try to wipe this off on?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, because otherwise I'm gonna pet the cat. But if there's grass, I'll do that
out
first.
a towel.
So yeah, you are you putting both of your hands on the grass to wipe it off?
Yeah, I certainly am. I just can't.
So as you go to wipe it off, you actually touch the grass and stick. Your hands don't move.
Oh my gosh. Y'all, my hands are grass. I don't even know what to do right now. What?
If you, I won't make you make a strength check for grass. If you keep pulling, you'll be able to pull your hands away, but they are completely covered in grass and dirt.
So does that mean I have a green thumb now?
Both of them.
Okay.
Don't be working for free. Make them donate.
Yeah, I know. I haven't actually checked what they've been saying. So okay.
And then Matt, you rolled a 5.
Mm-hmm.
So everyone roll 2d20 for me.
Six and a 12.
15 and 18.
10 and an 18.
So whatever numbers you all rolled, as you look around, you see just all around the forest that amount of almirage, which if you've never seen one before, looks like basically a small rabbit with a unicorn horn, like a horn coming out of the center of its head. And whatever you rolled, that's how many almirage you suddenly see all around you in this forest.
Jess, immediately Jin grabs his wrist. He's got a leather band there, twists the leather band and casts mage armor on himself.
Okay.
And then finds a tree to back up to.
I flutter on and land on top of Uber's head so that I can get a better view.
You notice as soon as these Almirage start to appear, because if you look around, it seems that Spark is seeing the same thing. Like he can see that you are surrounded by Almirage. He starts to back away and says, I'm sorry, but you are on your own." And he darts back the other way, and you lose sight of him almost immediately. What would you like to do with all of these Almirage surrounding you?
Look terrified at the cat. There's bunnies and there's a cat and there's like nearby. And now,
I'm excitedly looking from one to the next.
then notice Darla stuck on the grass. Darla, what have you been up to?
Oh, I've just been we just got a donation. I've just been man, I don't know what I got myself into.
It's hard to pun on command.
I forgot all the names for grass all of a sudden. I don't even know.
Is this what? Southern grass?
This is, you know what? I think this is crabgrass. So I'm getting a little crabby right now, honestly, with all this. This grass just stuck to me. I'm just getting crabby now. I hope that was good, Kyla. I don't know.
Do all these Almirage look kind of samey, or are there any standout Almirage here?
Roll perception for me.
All right, it's a 21.
A 21. So you notice that not only do they all look the same, but they look exactly the same. Like they're all just copies of the same Almirage.
All right.
Jess, as a minor illusion, can I make a fox appear just behind the queen and then dart out towards one of them?
You absolutely can.
See if anything happens. I'm just curious to see if they react.
So the fox darts out, and every single Almirage in unison turns to stare at it. Do you have the fox dart like directly at one, or just sort of like in the direction?
A dart towards one. I'm just trying to get the reaction, see if they're. You've told me that they're all as one as there, so I'm just trying to work out if it's looking in the direction of the fox or directly at it, for example. So I'm trying to work out which one's real and which one's a fake.
So they all look directly at the fox. As the fox darts toward one of the Almirage, that one vanishes.
Fox and Almirage, then please just have it running around like some sort of crazy cartoon character.
That song is playing like
I'll help with that. You got the fox running. I'll try and make them a little itchy with infestation and just throw some mites at them.
Okay. So Jin has the fox running around all of the Almirage. Io makes them all itchy. And between the two of you, all of the Almirage disappear. However, the other three of you can still see all of the Almirage that you were able to see before.
I remain excited.
As you're sort of like looking around at all of these Almirage, most of you, because now two of you can't see them anymore, you start to hear, it sounds almost like whimpering kind of in the distance, just sort of a gentle whimper just beyond the trees. And as soon as the sound starts, all of the Almirage that are still visible all turn their heads toward the direction of the sound and then back to you.
Does it sound like perhaps an injured baby bunny?
Then
I'm really interested in this.
Animal handling or perception? Do you know the very specific sounds that an injured baby bunny makes?
As a cat, I'm going to go with yes.
That's a good point. Yeah.
But my perception is only an 8.
You're not quite sure what the sound is coming from. It just sounds like just a strange whimpering sound.
Well, should we go check it out? Since we have no particular direction to go anyway, we might as well.
Yeah, I'm fair certain that all these Almirage's things are just a mirage. So I think let's just head up to the where that bunny is. I think that's perhaps the best way to go.
Yeah, let's do that. I'd clap for your good decisions, but I'm still sticky probably. So let's go that way. And then I
Yeah.
kind of like stewardess. Yeah.
All right, great. All right, so you walk toward the whimpering sound. And as you walk toward it, you all see thicker puddles of that strange substance you saw in the plants before, just like in bigger like puddles of it, just sort of all over. You can see it choking out all of the plants, all of the sort of like ground cover plants. Some of it is sort of like almost like spread across some of the like bushes and things, the trees, but it's definitely heaviest along the forest floor where all of the flowers, the vegetation, all of it has been choked out with this strange dark substance.
Does it look like fuzzy or like crystalline or?
Do you want to make an investigation or perception to see if you can
I can try.
determine?
Let's see here. That is 22.
All right, so it looks almost gelatinous
Ugh.
in nature.
Arla.
You do though also notice that in some spots, there are little like tufts of fur. Not as though it's like sprouted these tufts of fur, but as though like animals have been like caught in it, and then as they ran off, the fur got like pulled back into it.
I do my best to never touch it.
Well, it could be very helpful if you want to get your fur to be not blue again.
Oh, that's a good point, though. As a Tressum, I look at it. Is it poison?
Oh, can I trust some sea poison?
Yup.
It is, let's see. What a great question. So it's not, no, it is not poison.
Fair enough.
That goose not poison.
I still think you don't want to touch it.
I think it's very fair. I'm not suggesting that you should. It's simply that it might be a means to an end if you're particularly interested later.
All right, do you keep heading toward the whimpering noise?
Yeah, I think so.
Yep.
Seems like a good idea.
All right, as you sort of break through the trees, you see thicker and thicker like puddles of this gelatinous substance all along the ground. And eventually you come across a small figure that seems to be completely covered in this substance. And it looks as though it's sort of like kneeled, sort of like crunched down, and it's sort of shaking, almost like it's sobbing. And the whimpering sound seems to be coming from this figure.
Humanoid?
It does look humanoid, although it's difficult to tell because it's covered in such a thick layer of this substance.
Is that the same goo that's on my hands?
It is not. You can tell that it's different because the goo on your hands is it's like translucent.
Okay.
You wouldn't even be able to see it necessarily unless you were like sticking to something.
Okay. So if I didn't already have grass stuck to my hands, like you wouldn't know that it was a thing. Okay.
Yeah.
I have a trick I might be able to try. Let me just try something quickly. And with that, Jin throws back one of his rope sleeves and then tries gust to see if I can blow some of this gook off it. I'm looking to can I do the hairdryer thing, Jess?
Amazing. What are the effects of gust? Does it need to make like a saving throw or anything?
Unless I'm trying to actually push it back. No, it's a strength 14 force if I want to do it, but I'm trying to do the hairdryer at the minimum setting, not the high setting.
Okay.
So then just slowly ramp up, see if I can get the dirt to come off it.
So you push a gust of wind at this creature, and it almost looks like this substance briefly like comes alive as it starts to pull away, away from the direction of the wind. And as soon as the wind stops, it snaps back, and the creature seems to grow suddenly and stand and get taller and larger. And then very quickly, there's just a huge, just like almost like a living glob of this very dark, gelatinous, oozing substance that rears up in front of you. And I'd like you all to roll initiative for me.
Oops.
I love D&D so much.
Now you've done it. I got an 8.
Who is that?
That's me. Sorry, Greg.
Thank you.
I also got an 8. Or I also got an 8.
What are your dex modifiers?
3.
1. I would also happily defer.
Okay.
My character doesn't, not in a hurry.
I've got a 4, so even better.
4, all right.
Jin gets 18.
An 18, you said?
Yeah.
And what about you?
13.
13. What did I get? All right. So Jin, you get to go first as this big glob of ooze rears up and is about to strike you. What would you like to do?
Jess, am I in melee? So if I step back, it's going to hit me?
Not necessarily. How close do you have to be for gust?
About 10 foot I can be.
So you can be as far away as you would have been when you cast gust.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's up to 30 foot. So it's kind of the hair dry thing from a distance. In that one, turns around, goes, "Oh, you're up, the queen," and gently casts haste on the queen. And then finds a tree
Remind
to
you,
hide
if
behind.
you want there to be more combat effectiveness, you should actually cast haste upon Uber.
Uber it is then.
Yeah. Because I'm just gonna now.
Uber! I go for an Uber Black then. Bink, there we go, and step behind a tree.
Amazing. All right, Jin runs for it, but cast haste on Uber
Heroically runs for it, Jess.
and heroically runs away.
To a tree! To a tree!
Yes.
Remind us what haste does.
Yeah, sure. So now has a +2 to his AC, gains an additional advantage, an additional action on its turn.
Okay.
And you can do attack, dash, disengage, hide, or use an object.
But it has to be an
Hold on.
attack though, right?
No,
Not
it can be anything. It can be an attack, dash, disengage, hide, or use object.
Since as also a warlock, I'd be a caster.
Yeah, so you can cast a second spell if you want.
Yeah. So I will do. I will back up as well and Eldritch Blast.
All right.
All right. Eldritch Blasts. That is a natural 1. A 16, a 26, and a natural 20. That's a good spread.
All right.
Does
So sorry, say the
16
numbers
get ya?
again.
Does a 16 get you?
It does.
All right. So 2 hits and a crit with the haste.
All right. Give me your damage.
All right. 11 and 14. It's 25 plus 12 is 36.
Just diving right into the making me do math part of this. Couldn't make it an easier number for me.
Sorry, 36. What I got.
All right. And what kind of damage was it?
Force.
Force. Thank you.
Eldritch Blast.
All right. Was there anything else you wanted to do?
Back away was the other part of that.
Back away. All right. So now it is the pudding's turn. Let's see. What do I want this pudding to do? So many things that it can do. So
Be a
who is
delicious
closest?
dessert.
What was that?
Be a delicious dessert with chocolate toppings and sprinkles. That'd be awesome.
That would be awesome. Unfortunately, no. Let's see. So who is closest to it now? The Queen and Jin both backed away, but Kaladin, Io, and Darla are probably all about the same distance away from it. So
I would
we are
probably step forward. If someone's got a volunteer to get hit, I'll do it.
okay. If
Could
Kaladin
you
wants
just
to get hit.
volunteer as tribute?
Well, I am the paladin, so
Go Paladin.
I think it's 3 feet, right? I don't actually
Yeah.
know this.
Yeah.
Like
All right, then this pudding is going to surge forward and swipe out with one long, like gooey tendril at you. Let's see. And that is a 22 to hit.
that'll hit.
All right, that'll be 6 bludgeoning, plus 18 acid.
All right. So after the 10 hit points are gone, that'll be just 16, or that'll be just an additional 12 damage to me.
And are you wearing non-magical armor?
My armor is in fact non-magical.
So in addition, non-magical armor is partly dissolved and takes a permanent and cumulative -1 penalty to the AC it offers.
Perfect. We can work with that.
All right. And that is the pudding's turn. Next is Io.
All right. That didn't look good. So I'm going to. Yeah, I'm on Eldritch Blast too. Two. All right, so that is a 19 and a 15.
Those both hit. Go and roll your damage.
Okay, 12. Ooh, max, sorry. So 14. 26 altogether. I did
All
get two,
right.
right? Yeah.
Cool. This thing is starting to look, it's starting to, as you're like Eldritch blasting it, you can see it sort of like losing mass. It's sort of getting smaller and smaller. Darla, you are up.
All right.
Oh, was there anything else you wanted to do, Io?
Back away.
Okay. And now Darla.
All right. So I think this thing's just gross and I'm done with it. So I'm gonna use my bonus action to attempt to hide. Trying to get sneak attack.
All right.
Because Kaladin, you are not directly next to it yet, correct?
Well, if it's in melee range with me, then I would be in melee range with it.
Mhm.
So I would already get sneak attack, right?
I believe so, yeah.
It's been a while since I played her. Okay. All right. So then I don't hide, I just shoot.
All right, go ahead and roll. Roll your attack.
15 to hit?
That hits. Roll your damage.
Okay. 13 damage. And I am not right up next to them. End turn.
Okay. And Kaladin.
Yeah, all right. So I think since we're here and we're pretty close, I'll step forward and just go ahead and take out my sword and take a couple of strikes at this thing. Because what else is one going to do? So I'll just make my first attack with the sword kind of pointed out to balance with my shield. And does a 19 hit?
A 19 does hit.
All right. And while I go ahead and hit it here, I'm also going to use a Divine Smite. So that'll be it'll be 6 plus. Where is that on this page? Divine Smite. Oh, I have to actually click it. Okay. And it'll be an additional 2d8. So it'll be a total of garbage rolls. It's a total of 8 across the slashing damage and the divine smite.
All right. So you slash through this thing with your sword, and you divine smite it. And as you are slashing through it, it has this moment where you slash through it, and the entire thing sort of stills for a moment, like stops moving completely, and you can see where your sword slashed through it, and it sort of breaks apart into these two pieces, and both fall to the sides. And then they both seem to regain a little bit of mass, and both creatures, now there are two of them, hop up and start moving in on you from two sides.
Yeah, well, it's the only weapon I got, so it's there to punch it, which probably isn't a good idea. But I've got a second attack, so
Go ahead.
perhaps I'll just hit it again and hope that eventually it'll just run out of slime to keep splitting.
All right.
Does a 13 hit?
A 13 does hit.
All right, and we're going to do the same maneuver, but this time without your smite, and so that'll be 9 damage.
And that was with slashing damage?
It is again.
All right, so that one that you hit again, you can see where your sword swipes through it and it splits apart again, and it makes two smaller ones.
Yep.
And math, which I totally know how to do because I was totally a math tutor in college. Please nobody tell my old boss how bad at math I am. All right, and we're ready. We're back. Jin, it is now. Or was there anything else you wanted to do, Caladan?
No, but I'll just kind of try to stand protectingly in between all three of the slimes now and the rest of the party.
Okay.
Sorry.
Next is Jin.
Jin shouts out, "You cook a pudding, not cut it," and then fireballs one of the blobs.
If you didn't
tip
already
my
have
tiny hat
inspiration.
to
Yeah. All right. What's Firebolt doing? Do I need to roll a save, or is that an attack roll?
No, it's just a normal attack, and that was a 12.
A 12 hits.
Oh, hooray! That is 11 points of fire damage, please. Cook that pudding.
All right. And is that multiple targets or just one?
Oh, there's just one. It's just
Okay.
one firebolt.
All right. You got, and was that to one of the smaller ones or the bigger one?
Yeah, please. Yeah, the one that kind of then just cut up, just set on fire.
Yeah, you set it on fire, and as it goes out, you can see that thing is tiny now. That thing is almost gone. Next is does haste keep the queen up in initiative?
Yeah, for a minute. Yep.
Okay.
Please.
So the queen again and Uber, I guess.
Darla go? Didn't Darla go before me?
No.
Oh.
Darla was at the end.
Okay.
Because Jin hasted you last time.
Okay. I thought we had the same initiative. I must have missed something. All right. I will toss some more Eldritch Blasts.
Are you going for the big one or one of the small
Uh,
ones?
I'm gonna start with the big one. Oh, I
Okay.
did it again. That's a 9. I assume that misses.
That hits.
Oh,
Oh.
well, then that is everything. Let's try that.
Not a well armored slime, I see.
Yeah.
Not as good a rolls though. 12, 13, and 12 is 25 force.
25.
And I will continue to back away from the party.
Desert them to their puddings.
Ah, don't get it in
I
your
like
fur.
Thank
You'll
Dessert
never get
them.
it out.
you, Melody.
Yeah. Oh no, thank you.
All right, yeah, that one's looking pretty rough. It's even about the size of the smaller ones at this point. And now it is the pudding's turn. So let's see. I think so. Jin and the Queen have both sort of backed away. Have the other three, have you all backed away, or is it just that Kaladin is standing in front of you? You backed away.
Back away.
You're backed away.
Kaladin's just in front of me.
Okay. So the two smaller ones will attack Kaladin, and then the other one will attack Darla. Let's see. Yeah, and they're gonna do this. So that is a 19 to hit Kaladin
And it'll hit.
and a 21 to hit.
It also hit.
And for Darla, that is a 11 to hit.
That will miss.
Okay. Sorry, Kaladin.
I dodge it nimbly and then just like pretend I was just flipping my hair, and I'm just like, oh,
Beautiful. Oh, me? I'm just having a great time here in the forest.
hair flip, hair flip.
All right, that is going to be a 13 bludgeoning and what is that? 36 acid.
All right. Between both attacks.
Yeah.
Right. Perfect.
Okay. Still doing good?
We're good.
All right, good. Let's see. That was all of the puddings. Next is EO.
I guess screw it, I'll still be boring. Eldritch Blast more.
All right, which one are you aiming at?
Oh, one. There's two of them, right?
There's still 3 of them. There are
Oh,
two.
3. Two smaller ones and one big one, right?
Basically, yeah, but they're all about the same size at this
They're all
point.
about the same size now. Then I'll still spread it out, one on each of them.
Okay.
And I got a 22 and a 14.
That'll hit.
Ooh. All right. So one of them gets a 7 and one of them gets a 13. I'll spread that out as evenly as I can.
All right, you spread it out just right, and one of the smaller ones gets that Eldritch Blast, and just sort of like sizzles apart, and the goo just sort of like disperses to the ground. And you can see as it disperses, this is the same substance that you've seen all over the forest, choking out the plant and the vegetation, as it again just sort of like covers the floor and chokes out more of the plants beneath your feet. All right, there are 2 goos left. Did you have anything else you wanted to do, Io?
Back up.
Back up. All right. Next is Darla.
All right. So I don't like to see my paladin friend Kaladin getting beat up.
Putting right to the face.
Yeah, seriously.
over.
Like, I mean, pudding in the face is good, but only like when, spoon fed, not goo slapped.
If I have to go, I mean, pudding to the face.
Yeah, it's not
basically
the
a
worst
tweak.
way to go. Yeah, but
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm gonna do what I can to help. So Darla sees this happening and is like, sweetheart, you know, goo doesn't work for everybody, but I gotta say, it no matter what anyone else says, it works for you in a your kind of way. So that's my vicious mockery. Um, at the is the bigger goo. If there's not a bigger one, then the uglier one. However, you can rate
Love it.
goos. Yeah. Um, so that's a 15 wisdom. Ooh, for 8 damage. I rolled
8.
2 fours.
All right. Wait, what was the damage? 8 or 18? What'd you say?
8.
8.
It's just
okay.
2d4s. So.
All right. They're both pretty small now.
Do they feel bad about themselves?
Very bad. You can tell that this goo is, it sort of like slumps a little bit, like, oh.
Excellent. Excellent. So disadvantage next time they attack my friend. So
All right.
that was what I was mainly going for. Not to hurt their feelings, but mainly just to like throw them off their game.
Excellent. Anything else you want to do?
Mean mug, the uglier one, and then end turn.
All right.
Just
next is Caladan.
All right. I think for this, it was a bit of a surprising amount of damage that came through from those last 2 attacks. So I'm just gonna do a really quick lay on hands and just get myself right back up into tip-top shape. We'll just go ahead and do that very quickly. And while I do the math on my end, I think is a bonus action. Is a bonus action. What let's do is let's just go ahead and cast Shield of Faith on myself, so that my AC is even higher, and it's probably unlikely that anyone will ever hit me again.
All right. And we're back up to Jin.
Because I know the rules so well, I forgot to ask you to do a wild magic roll because I cast a spell as a wild mage.
Ooh.
So roll percentage dice and a d10, and if you get a really nice number, that'd be awesome. Thank you. Otherwise, I can turn into a sheep.
Well, I got a 2.
Oh dear God. You just get to roll randomly on this table and then cackle at me as far as I can work out.
Oh, sorry. Let's see. So a 2 is,
Surge.
at the start of each of your turns?
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
Right.
Interesting.
she's like,
More surges.
excellent.
Each of your turns for the next minute. How can I make this battle last longer?
We can roll out of combat too.
True. All right.
I mean, it's your table.
Also,
rule,
old
right?
Slow Tiger 90, thank you. Got you a reroll. So it looks like it's just for anyone who needs it. So if anyone needs a reroll, thank you, old Slow Tiger 90.
Thank you.
In the meanwhile, while you're plotting my demise, I'll cast another fireball at one of the smaller puddings, please.
All right.
Put an end to its puddingness. And that is a 15. And
15 to hit?
Yes.
That'll hit.
And that is at 5 points of fiery damage.
All right.
Basted Bombay.
You flambe this pudding briefly, and as the fire goes out, you see that it is very, very small now. There's one of them that is teeny tiny. It seems like it's barely hanging on there.
Fantastic. Lunch is nearly up. Thank you.
Great. Let's see. And next is the queen again.
All right. Well, Uber's got one trick, and it is Eldritch Blast. 15's my low, which
Hits.
sure hits. Yeah. All right. That is 27 force.
All right. You were aiming at just one of the.
Yeah, I'm trying to focus fire and bring one down.
All right. Yeah, with your 27, you absolutely destroy one of the little ones. And again, as it just sort of like collapses and spreads out the ooze, you can see that this is very much the substance that's been choking out all of the plant life in the forest. All
Well
right.
done, Uber. You may carry me for another day.
All right, the one ooze left now has its turn. And I think this one has disadvantage to attack Caladan because of its vicious mockery.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, okay, well, it's still got a 18 to hit.
I will knock it away with my shield.
Excellent. That's right, because you also have your new shield. Let's see. Next is Io.
So there's just the one left now, right?
Yep, just one little one, little tiny one.
All right. Blast. Oh, okay, maybe not so much. Yeah, that's a 8.
8 will hit. Roll your damage.
Oh, okay, 8 and 10. Okay, awesome. 11 and 7, 18 altogether.
All right, that last one. Yep, you blow that thing away, and the just last tiny little traces of it cover the ground once more. But you have absolutely defeated the ooze.
I want to stay away from anything else that looks like that. Eye out for anything similar looking. And
I've been telling you that for a long time. Get that in your fur, it's gonna mess you up for. It's so horrible.
It is very bad, yes.
we'll stay
Pretty
away.
bad.
Let's see. Did anyone not take damage during that fight? I think a couple of you didn't take any damage, right?
I did
Wow.
not, because I did my excellent hair flip.
That's right. Wow, that's so many of you. Okay, well, all 4 of you, go ahead and roll a d6 for me.
Again.
Let's see. So we've got 2, 3, 5, and 5. So let's see. So first one is Caladan. You feel a strange itching in your scalp, and when you look, you see that matching Jin, you now have a flower crown over your head that seems to have just like sprouted from your hair.
Oh, it's lovely.
And another random. This is Jin. You, similar to Darlin Darla, you feel just a strange substance coating your hands.
Darla.
I didn't do it. I've literally kept my hands over
do you
here.
touch your chest when you do that? Do you go like that?
Me?
No, I do.
Are you sticking
No,
your hands
Darla.
together like that?
No, I do this and go, Darla, sticky.
Oh yeah, then your fingers stick together. And Darla, if you do the like, oh, I don't, and like point to your, like touch your chest, and now your fingers are stuck to your.
Well, that's
Yes,
just
there.
awkward. I seem to keep getting myself into sticky and awkward situations. I tell you what, this is just.
It's all the pie.
Um,
Pies are sticky.
Pies are sticky. That is so true.
And once again, you all would roll 2d20 and see that amount of almirage. So you don't have to roll, just assume that you see a ton of almirage around you because that one hit twice. So it's 4d20 almirage that you all suddenly see around this
Okay.
clearing.
What was the 3?
The 3 was the random sticky hands.
Oh, I'm sticky again.
No, the sticky hands last for half an hour. And that's what you got last time. Now Jin also has sticky hands.
Okay. Because I rolled a 3 again. I was just checking. Okay.
Yeah, it hits a random character, so you gave someone else sticky hands.
Oh, I'm
is what
sorry.
happened.
It really was me then. I'm sorry.
It was you.
Your hands are contagious.
I mean, no, I'm done.
This is why we wash our hands.
Yep.
Yes. Wash your
That's
hands.
exactly right. If you want to try to unstick from like Jin now has his finger stuck like this and Darla has her hand stuck to her chest. If you want to try to unstick from that, you can make a sleight of hand check.
I do want to do that. So if I were to use some of the alcohol that I have in my bag, because so as you know, alcohol cleans things. We know this, right? So if I were to ask someone to pour some of the alcohol on my hands and then try that, could I possibly have advantage? Because alcohol is just good hand hygiene.
Absolutely. Who do you want to ask to pour alcohol in your hands for you?
Well, not the cat, because she just won't. Kaladin.
Yeah.
Would you mind boozing my hands, please?
Well, I'd like to tell you that this is probably not the best way to consume it, but I'm happy to give you the alcohol on your hands if it's what you're looking for.
Yes, please. Thank you.
All right, and I'll take the bottle and just pour a little bit, and you'll just have to tell me when. Is it enough?
20 seconds. I have to sing the happy birthday song.
All right.
Happy birthday to
Right.
you. Happy birthday. No, okay. All right. So, thank you.
Yeah.
And then that is I'm sorry, what is that?
A sleight of hand check.
Sleight of hand. Well, the first one was a 1, so I'm glad we did that whole thing because I just rolled a 20, so 23.
Excellent. Yep, you're 23. You were able to unstick yourself, and with the alcohol, you were able to remove the goo from your hands.
Amazing. Thank you. I take my alcohol back and put it in my bag.
Would you like to help Jin?
Oh, sure. I'll share some of my gin with Jin. Yeah, so I will share with Jen.
Yeah, and then I'll. Sorry, Jess.
Oh, you can make your sleight of hand check, and I'm gonna go ahead and roll on the wild magic surge table. I'm counting this as your turn.
No, that's all good. So as I'm doing that, so the alcohol there, and Jin lights it to do that and gets a dirty 20. So
ooh, yep, you're able to unstick. And and no, that was a fun laugh, not a mean laugh. I know they're hard to tell apart with me.
Did you change your backgrounds? Big lightning.
And for Jin, you grow an eye on your forehead for the next minute. During that time, you had advantage on wisdom perception checks that rely on sight. What does this eye look like?
I'm going to go for it's a cat's eye since I'm surrounded by cats and we've just been inspired by it. So I have this cat's eye and I'll move the flower crown around it. So I'll move part of my hair so that the eye is quite nicely with flowers bedecking it at this stage.
Beautiful. Lovely.
And then look at the queen and kind of shrug.
You've been blessed.
I just want to say that you look absolutely majestic. I don't know what that voice was. Okay, you look majestic, and that's not an insult. I think I need to refocus.
You look lovely, and I'm not being sarcastic.
I know it sounds like I actually am, but I'm not. I'm not right now.
Sure. Well, we were sticking together earlier, so it's time to go.
I
The
like that
rest
you're
of you-
hands-on with the puns.
Yeah. Well, I felt we glued in that last bit.
Oh my gosh. You all already have advantage. I need you all to use your advantage so I can re-reward it. I love it. I love these puns. Thank you. Beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
All right, so you're able to unstick your hands and remove the goo, the both of you. And as you look around at all of the almirage that you now know are mirages, one of them you notice looks a little bit different from the rest, actually. And this time, because you figured out last time that all of you are each seeing your own almirage mirages, but this one is shared. You can all see this same almirage that sort of hops forward a little bit. And you all hear a voice in your minds. Thank you for removing this blight from my forest. I've seen many of these monsters around lately. They do not belong here. I've been trying to clear them out, but they multiply at a somewhat alarming rate. If you find another, don't slash at it.
Right, well, I'm sorry. Okay, I didn't bring a club. I only brought a sword and a shield, and of course my armor, and it's all I've got. So, if you'd like to contribute something very nice, like perhaps a warhammer or something, you're welcome to contribute to the cause.
I
Until
look
then,
at all the big logs and then say nothing.
until someone gives me some kind of weapon, it is very effective against this type of a creature. All I can really do is just hit it with my sword and hope that it gets smaller every time you slice it up.
I didn't mean to insult you. I was simply trying to warn you.
Right, no offense taken. Right, everyone is very happy. Right, and everyone is glad to be here. What seems to be the issue, and how can we fix it?
The issue is that these, and the Elmar sort of like wrinkles its cute little bunny nose at all of the ooze on the ground. These creatures have invaded my forest. They've destroyed the life here.
Right. So we've had whispers about some kind of like a trickster spirit kind of thing here in the forest. Do you think that this is connected to the trickster, perhaps?
When you say that you've heard whispers about a trickster, she sort of in a way that like only a bunny can, sort of like wiggles her little body and sort of looks proud for a moment. And then you say, do you think that the trickster is connected? And she sort of like hunches a little bit. No, the trickster is not responsible for this. I don't know who told you that, but they lied.
Right. Well, let's just be perfectly clear. I was not assuming that there's any kind of causation. It just, if this is the trickster's woods and there's also, things that are happening in the woods, it would be fair to assume that perhaps there's some kind of correlation, which is, of course, not any kind of reason to believe that one thing is causing the other so much as they're happening simultaneously. What do you think is the cause of this slime here in your forest?
If I knew what was causing it, I would have put a stop to it.
Yeah, it's very fair. Does anyone else have any theories as for, what perhaps could be causing this slime infestation and how we could get rid of it, perhaps in a very convenient manner of time to get back and hopefully have the whole, festival celebration thing before, leaving town?
I mean, I do believe that this fine creature here is not to blame at all for this. They are just lovely. They have the greatest fur, I must say, the most magnificent fur. No offense, Queen Silka Wiskins. The words, they're there. Uh, I, my darling, would you be able to help us help you by showing us where we can go? Like, where do these blights upon your forest start to populate? How can we help you get your forest back to this pristine way that it was?
I I don't know where they're coming from. If anyone would be able to trace their origin, it would be Elania, but she won't speak to me.
Well, maybe
She's the
she'll
goddess
speak
of the
to us.
forest.
Yes, that's what the villagers call her, the goddess of the forest.
I asked the particularly delicious looking rabbit trickster spirit, I, could you show us or tell us how to get to the spring full of Lanya's tears? Maybe she'll speak to us.
I suppose it couldn't hurt. You would do well to be careful, though. She's upset. The festival is meant to honor her, and whoever is doing this to the forest has angered her. It might be difficult to get her to listen right now.
Is that why she's not talking to you? Does she think you're behind this, you beautiful creature?
Are you what are you trying to do with all this flattery? Are you should I do I need to make you roll
Persuasion.
something?
I
Yeah, go ahead
am,
and roll persuasion.
yeah. I just, whatever this creature can give us, I'm trying to get it full force. That's a 29.
Oh. She is very she can definitely tell that you are trying to butter her up a little bit, but she's into it. She's
Not in a
like
tasty way, Queenly.
yeah.
No.
But Jin could make a wonderful Hassenfeld.
No, no, she's not actually getting buttered. Now, I believe in butter, y'all, but not in this case. So she is buttered up.
Yes, and she does tell you, yes, I can lead you to the path that leads to Yelania's spring. Unfortunately, I can't go with you. As I said, she thinks I'm responsible for this.
We
So
will put your name in the clear, my darling. Don't you even worry. One final request of you. You are just so wonderful to us. One final request. Is there anything that, aside from the festival, could appease her? Like, does she like cats rubbing up on her legs? What can we do
Everyone
to
likes that.
make her, yes, yes, dear. What is it that we can do to make her a little bit more happier to speak with us?
I normally she's happy to speak with anyone who brings her an offering of any sort of flowers or anything like that. Lately, I don't know. I brought her all manner of flowers. I've awakened trees for her. I've done so much, and she just won't speak to me.
We will try
Fortunately,
to
we
get her
have
back.
people growing flowers from their heads, so
It's true.
When at that she kind of looks at the two of you with flower crowns and winks her little bunny eye and says, "You're welcome."
Oh, wait a minute. You wouldn't by any chance be this famous and absolutely lovely trickster god, would you?
And the Elmer sort of like shakes herself.
I know
Why,
someone guilty when I see them.
why, yes, I am the famous trickster of the forest of flowers.
I must say, I appreciate your work.
Thank you.
Yes, if it's possible, Jin's going to go up to Caladan's armor and see if mending can at least repair some of the damage done by the acid attack. He's going to try and do mending on the armor and see if it has any effect. If it doesn't, all good, but he's going to give it a try anyway.
I think it would. Let me see.
I'd have a paladin with rusty armor. It just sounds look all that pudding.
Well,
She's
I
such a
mean,
messy eater.
right,
This
you know, I
is
mean,
like a food fight.
Yeah.
I'm certainly appreciative, to be very clear.
Yeah, I think the mending would probably do the trick.
Yeah, spend a couple of minutes just trying to get it all back into normal safe Caladan. So,
Well, Darla's just like flattering the heck out of this
oh
bunny.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And Jin's watching this, and at this point in time, it's just working what works best with rabbits. He's got some wine in the bag. He's thinking, potatoes would be nice for the rabbit. He just has to stop himself.
And I'm telepathically talking to Jin about rabbit food. Like, let's.
That's it. Stews.
Stew.
Rabbit.
Right, I do like a good
Fantastic.
stew.
I'll pounce on it and break its neck, and then you can cook it.
Well,
Yeah.
you know,
Darlin doesn't want to fight you all, but
Yeah, are you gonna try to attack this Almirage, or are you just
No, because I know it's not
wondering?
really a bunny.
right. I think let's.
But I'm all salivating. I got that cat drool thing going on where.
Oh yeah,
Get
she
excited.
sees it and she looks at the queen and sort of like huffs a little. And even like as she sees you kind of like drooling, you can hear somewhere sort of like in the distance, you hear sort of like a heavy stomp, and the earth sort of like shakes for a moment and then stills again, and she sort of like narrows her eyes at you and looks away.
oh, you've been put on notice.
If you wish, yeah, avert your eyes is right. If you wish to head to the spring, I can cover you. I have some creatures loyal to me are heading this way to keep fighting off these disgusting creatures damaging the forest. But if you head that way, and she sort of points with her horn, that will take you to the path to Eulania's spring. You can find Eulania there. She hardly ever leaves her spring.
Excellent. Do you know if she's been hydrating lately? I'm just curious. Is she getting well hydrated?
As far as I know,
Just curious. Thank you so much for all. You've just been so helpful and just such a wonderful host. Thank you for allowing us in your wonderful forest.
thank you for the appropriate amount of deference.
I tipped my tiny hat.
And as she sort of like giggles about this, two more of those puddings break through the tree line near you. But at the same moment, four gigantic creatures that are at least twice as tall as the tallest of you break through the other way, and they look like almost like gigantic bipedal almirage, just huge with like the gigantic horns coming out of their heads. And they immediately make for the puddings to attack. And she says, "Go, find Eulania. I'll take care of these."
Jin, think of how much rabbit stew you could make.
Has to tear his eyes away from it. As he's going, he hands Caladan two little chocolate treats and says, "Take these and eat them now."
All right, and I'll eat them. I do.
Yeah, they're deliciously chocolate treats, which each give you 3 temporary hit points. So that's 6 temporary hit points you have. So,
oh,
Nice.
thank you.
joys of a chef.
Amazing.
And yeah, well, while we're walking, I'll probably just cast a quick cure wounds on myself, just to make sure that everyone's in tip-top shape.
So Darla's not damaged, but while we're walking, she'll adjust her lip gloss.
You have to get ready to see Eulania.
Mm-hmm.
As you walk further away from this opening where you saw the Almirage, you will hear just a very sudden like giggling in your heads. Just a quick take care, new friends. You seem to have picked something up in the forest. And you all feel just a slight pressure on your lower backs. Everyone go ahead and roll 1d6 for me. Let's see. Oh, thank you for doing it this way. Okay, so let's go. I'm gonna do this on my screen. So Caladan, you feel a strange little tingling, and you look back and you see that you now have a goat tail. Uh, Greg, what
It's
was yours?
fascinating.
Number one. So I'll leave this up to you whether it's Queen or Uber that gets it, but one of you grows a badger tail.
It'd be odd for me to have multiple tails, so I'll give that one to Uber.
Okay.
We would badger you about that if you did have two tails.
It's like you're really burrowing into something there.
And Chris, what did you roll?
A 6.
A 6. So Jin grows a long, slender rat tail. A tail, not the hair, like an actual tail.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Just-
Io, what did you have?
4.
A 4. Io grows a wolf tail. And you're also a tiefling, right? Did you already have a tail?
Yeah.
So
Got a 21.
your tiefling tail turns into a wolf tail.
Mm.
And Darla, a 4 as well.
Mm-hmm.
So a wolf tail for you as well.
Just
Okay.
a wet dog.
Point of interest: those with wolf tails, are they wagging right now?
I
I
don't know.
would say mine is. I've just done a recent application of lip gloss. I've thoroughly flattered a trickster goddess. Yeah, my tail's wagging. I'm good.
What about you, Io? Is your tail wagging?
It's fluffy now, so yeah. So
Io loves his new tail.
Awesome.
All right. So you continue along the forest path where the trickster told you you'd find Eulania's spring. Did you want to do anything before you make it to the spring?
Are our friends mostly healed or close to? I think Caladan's really the only one that got hurt a lot.
Right, I've kind of healed myself a little bit, and with some temporary hit points from those nice chocolates, I'm in pretty good shape. Pretty close. On a scale of 1 to 76, I'm about a 60, so we're in pretty good shape.
What a very specific scale.
that was a really specific scale. Depending on if I think we might not want to stop to rest. If we do stop to rest, I can reapply the big temporary hit points. But so maybe
that's up to you. Once you get a little bit farther away from the clearing where you can clearly hear the sounds of battle, and it sounds like the trickster's agents are coming out victorious against these puddings. So if you'd like to take a short rest, you absolutely can.
Does anyone need it?
I
Otherwise,
think our paladin might give him a little bit of rest just to get some hit points back.
I mean,
I can
yeah,
help him with that.
all right.
sure.
If we want to do that, then I will once again tell you how amazing and incredible I am and why you should worship me. And just saw how Jin received my blessings and grew a cat's eye. So clearly powerful magics at work. And please all gain 12 temporary hit points.
See, I
And
think
anyone that's wounded, as Jin kind of potters around, puts together a quick lunch, and that's an extra D8 hit points for those who've been wounded. Tragically, it's cold food, not warm. Like to cook in a forest, can't do rabbit food. It's probably a bad idea. So moves on to the kind of like more vegetarian approach.
probably for the best.
right.
Excellent. So you all take your short rest. You listen to Queen regale you with tales of what wonderful catness, catitudes are awaiting you
So much
all.
gratitude. So much.
I think last time Caladan shared what he liked most about cats, what he appreciated most about cats after the speech. So this time, let's hear from Jen. What do you appreciate most about cats, and what is the cat god called? The Fae?
It's the Cat Lord. He's
The
one
Cat
of the
Lord.
fairy lords of the Beastlands.
So what do you appreciate most about the Cat Lord now that you've heard Queen regale you with more, even more information about this Cat Lord?
Given I've got a rat's tail, I'm not sure it's appreciate, but a keen insight into hiding tails and cleanliness. We'll take cleanliness as a really important part of a routine because that's something Jin can vibe with. The licking
Cleanliness
stuff, not so much. Cleanliness, yes.
Makes
Wash that tongue.
sense.
I don't know why you humans have such dirty mouths, but we really should work on that. Get some
Wait till
mouth
Darla.
washes or something.
Ask Darla when she comes back.
Excellent. All right. So you all head along this path. Let's also everyone go ahead and roll a perception check for me.
Ooh, that's
Just a
22.
7.
Yeah, 10 for me.
10,
8.
8, and what was yours, Chris?
7.
7. So I think just Queen Silken Whiskers, as you're sort of regaling your party with this, just the wondrous muse of the Cat Lord, you notice just a quick flicker in the corner of your eye, and you see just what looks like some sort of red fuzzy thing that just sort of like flashes into your line of sight and then disappears again. And it doesn't seem to notice you exactly. It just seems to be a creature that's running around nearby.
I will telepathically pass that on to my friends and note the this weird red thing that's been running around, that it's interesting that it is red and potentially a bad guy, since the gentleman who wanted us to go kill the trickster spirit also had bright red hair. I wonder if it's related. As a cat, we see things really well when they're moving, so I make these connections.
Right. It's a very specific piece of information. It I was not aware of about cats before.
Really good with movement. It makes me think about things.
Could you
Mostly eating them or attacking, but sometimes who might be bad.
And speaking of connections, why don't you all go ahead and make me a wisdom check, just a straight wisdom check.
12, Jess.
Passionate.
be it 22?
22,
21.
21,
10.
10. All right. So Caladan and Queen Silken Whiskers, you notice this red fuzzy thing, and you recall what the trickster said to you, that you seem to have picked something up in the forest before you all grew tails. And you can connect that means she was telling you, you have a tail. Someone is following you.
I like how subtle she is. It's very cat-like.
It was very, very clever. It's a good way to, just gently give you some information. Well, who do we think that is then? Only one person who knew we were coming in here.
To be fair, the whole town knew you were coming in here.
Yeah. So
To be fair.
Jin wanders over to Darla and says, Darla, apparently someone's following us. Their funny one-liner about tails wasn't a funny tale after all. And they say there's a flash of red. I wonder if it's Sparks who's been following us. Because she's got the red hair, right? He had the red hair, sorry.
Brooke did have red hair, yeah.
When
We didn't really trust him, did we? He was a little suspicious, and not in like a fun, mysterious way, but more in like a way, you know?
But I found mint, and I've got this third eye. It just keeps catching in my hair.
Yeah. Oh, honey,
Big flowers.
I know the struggles of keeping your hair good. I know.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
He comes over with his flowing locks and he offers you some clips to
Oh, honey,
Yes, a selection.
I've got one, but thank you so much, darling. You keep it. You need it.
He's actually working on Jin's hair very quietly, but very hair.
Game
all
is
right.
ridiculous, and I love it.
Are you all going to continue along to the spring?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm sorry, I stepped away. How did we find out we were getting followed?
We spotted him.
Yeah, spotted him.
Okay. That's a good way to figure it out. Okay.
Yeah, so the queen noticed just something like red and fuzzy darting through the trees. And then a couple of you were able to put together that the trickster, when she said you picked something up in the forest and then you all grew tails, what she meant was you have a tail.
Oh, she's good. Oh, she's good. I get it now. Thank you. I get now what you were trying to say, Jen. Thank you. Like Darla's quick as a whip, but Melody is a little slower.
That's why you roll for it. You don't have to know.
Exactly.
But your character figured it out.
That's why D&D is so great. It makes you smarter than what you really are.
All right,
this.
so what was that?
No, I just said you got this.
We got this together. It takes a village.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Everybody's awesome.
All right, so you head to the spring, and as you approach it, it's clear when you get there that it's this. You can tell that typically this would just be a gorgeous area. There's so many trees and so many like bushes and shrubs that you know would typically have just be covered in gorgeous plant life. But right now, as with most of the forest, and as with all of the flowers you saw back in town, all of the flowers have wilted. The trees and the branches on everything are just sort of drooping. And the spring, the entire sort of like pond area in the center, it's almost completely dry, a little bit muddy in places. So you can tell that typically there's water here, but right now there's no water that you can see. And toward the edge of this like spring area, you can see a sort of humanoid shape, a tree, someone with very dark brown skin and green hair, sort of like puffing out and with like bushiness, and they're sort of like crouched over, looking, running their hand along the dry ground here, and you can hear this person just sort of quietly sobbing.
Oh, darling.
Hmm.
We have brought you this gift of head flowers.
I will present my head as a gift.
May they beautify your grove.
So you say this, and she like whips around to look at you, and you can see the sort of like bark on her face, kind of like scrunches together, and she looks furious. Have you come to destroy more of my forest? More tricksters who won't leave me alone? What have I done to you? What have I done to your goddess to do this to me? Why would you do this to me? And as she screams this, she sort of like waves to her sides, and two of the trees spring to life and stand between you and her. And she says, I won't fall for any more tricks.
Oh, honey, no, let's come to a treaty. No, we don't mean you any harm. You are barking up the wrong tree with that accusation. We are just here to help you, to branch out our friendship, to really, we want these things pestering your forest to leave you alone. So no, honey, no, we're here to help you. Help me help you. What can we do to help you?
I need you to roll persuasion with disadvantage.
What? Okay. Yes, DM.
Could I?
One too many pun.
Can I spin my
That's not a
reroll
thing.
to give Darla just a straight roll?
You can, yeah, that would be fine.
Okay. So I had already hit the button before that happened. So my first roll was a 19, and my second roll was an 11.
Well, since we're saying you just did a roll with no disadvantage, we'll take the first roll.
Okay. Thank
Um,
you. Thank you.
So you can tell that you were making all of these puns and your DM loved it, but she is wary of tricksters right now. She has been hurt pretty badly.
That's fair.
And so she hears you making all these puns and she is not impressed.
I mean, everybody hurts sometimes.
But you're able to, despite her hesitance, you're able to get through to her that like you really are here to help, despite the puns. Truly, you are here. You are here to help.
Okay.
And she sort of looks. She looks still very suspiciously at you and says,
Fair. Yeah.
So if not Kikena, who sent you?
We are here because the village that just wants to please you is unable because nothing will grow, and they are absolutely in despair. They can't possibly function without your blessings. And they are just beside themselves with worry because they cannot find a way to please you. And so we are here to help rid you of the bane that has been brought upon your beautiful and lovely forest and bring the spring back to the beautiful life that it was and bring you back to your absolute glory that you deserve.
Well, the reason the reason I have not blessed the village is because my forest has been poisoned.
That's
If
fair. I get it.
you must, I don't know why Kikena would do this to me, but you must stop her.
Is there
Kenna the
Go ahead.
name of the trickster spirit?
You never caught the name of the Almirage who you were speaking to, but it does seem like she is referring to some sort of trickster. It seems like Yulani is talking about like some sort of trickster that lives in the woods that she is calling Kikena.
So I would say to her, I think there are two people involved. There is a spirit that's been trying to talk to you that took the form of an Almirage, but then there is another spirit that appeared as a red-headed mortal, and then also appeared as some sort of red fuzzy creature. Which one do you mean?
Kikena favors the form of an Almirage. Who is
Kakena
this?
seems to be stopped trying to fight the poison.
She is a trickster. I thought I could trust her, but I cannot. If she told you she was fighting the blight, how could you possibly know that for sure?
I mean, honey, we did witness it firsthand with all of our eyes, including the extra one that our friend Jen has. We have all seen it. The, the, she truly is trying to just befriend you and reach out to you in this dark time. She just doesn't know how to appease you. And I truly do believe she is trying to make things right, although she did no wrong from what we can see with our many eyes.
If you bring me the one responsible, I will believe you that Kikena is not behind this. Until
Wonderful.
then, I simply cannot trust you. I simply cannot trust her. She's broken my heart.
Do you know where the blight is centered? That I might take my minions there?
Yes, there's there's a set of caves that Kikena favors toward the eastern part of the forest of flowers, and it seems that they're coming from that direction. Although I hear whispers, and she sort of lifts her head like she's listening to something. There are many on their way here right now. You've led them to me. This was a trap. I knew it.
Well, I declare we would never. No, we would never. We have been tailed by a red fuzzy creature, but no, we no, no.
And Kakena already knows where you live, yes? Why would she need us to follow?
I don't know, but I know these creatures are coming from her caves. I know that she's the trickster in this forest. I don't know why she would do this to me.
She may be a trickster in this forest, but I don't think she is the only trickster in this forest. I She has been framed, and not in like a good light where her good side is. Like, she has been framed with like multiple chins. It is not good. We will clear her name. I swear to you on all that is holy, on my grandmother's peach pie recipe, we will clear her name.
And that's good
Uh,
pie.
and as go ahead.
Sorry, and as that's going on, say to branch off this conversation, have you heard of someone called Spark? A new visitor to the town that is advising the town. They claim to be a herbalist.
No, I'm afraid I don't keep track
Shock of
really.
red, shock of red hair. They seem to be very interested, but oddly scared of these woods. And I'm just a simple half orc. But it seems coincidental that a herbalist would turn up with such interest to your forest, and then you're blighted so quickly. And then, as the queen herself has seen, a shock of red in the woods seems a little bit too convenient for a simple person like myself. So let us go and have a look and find what this blight is, because it really makes bad eating, and we need your forest to return to the beauteous place that it was before, just as Darla said.
If he's scared of the forest, it's because it means him harm. If he Anyone who's scared of the forest, they hear the whispers. They don't see the flowers. This, to me, is the forest of flowers, but many call it the forest of whispers. If he's scared of it, he has reason to be. I There are many creatures who wander through this forest, and I am a friend to all. But you mention a shock of red hair, and I can't help but notice that red behind you. And as you turn to look, you see, and Queen, you would recognize it now. It's sort of a clearer sight. There's a small fox that's sort of peeking out from behind a tree. And as you all turn to look at it, it darts back behind the tree. And as it does, you hear more sort of like rumbling from just beyond the tree line, and many, let's see, the two trees that are in front of Eulania sort of like square up like they're ready to go. And busting through the tree line, you see three of those puddings from before that are just like searing through all of the plant life as they come through. But just behind them are more of those giant Almirage creatures that you saw before, trying to engage them in battle. And the smaller Almirage comes darting out of the trees, screaming for Eulania, asking if she's okay. And I'm going to have you all go ahead and roll initiative.
As this happens, could I perchance get off a quick spell casting as a bonus action to cast Sanctuary on Yolonia?
Sure, yeah. What does Sanctuary do?
So it's a spell that for the next minute, any creature that tries to attack her has to make a Wisdom saving throw, and if they fail that saving throw, they have to choose to attack a different target.
Okay, awesome. That sounds great. Yeah. Oh, thank you. This is great. Okay. sorry, chat, you don't know what's happening, but everyone just put in our Zoom chat their initiatives, which is a great way to do this. It makes it so easy for me to keep track.
We
Thank
try
you.
to be helpful players so that the DM doesn't kill us.
Kill you? What? Me?
What?
Never in a million years.
I'd like to roll for no insight on that.
Wait, if you die, you guys just don't go back to your home plane?
Ooh, sucks to be you.
So inferior to legs.
Tell us more about how great you are. I never get
She
sick of
would.
hearing it.
Well, just wait. After this fight, I will tell you again.
All right, so you see that the fight sort of splits up a little bit as the trees and Kikina's agents engage some of the puddings that break through the trees, and then a couple of them focus on you.
I mean, why wouldn't they? We are absolutely marvelous creatures.
That is definitely so true.
Hashtag truth. Fantasy hashtag? I don't even know.
All right, so there are 3 of these puddings that are focusing on you while Eulania and Kikena and the trees and beasts fight off the other 6 puddings. So we're going to focus on your side of the fight and while their fight is going on simultaneously.
I like that math, yeah.
All right, let me get my health bar set up. Let me just go ahead and open up a calculator in case someone starts slashing. That was not a comment about you. It was a comment from me that I need a calculator.
Well, seeing as how nobody has provided me with anything that performs a different type of damage,
I was just about to.
I will in fact.
Would
Yes.
I'm sorry, would a rapier be helpful?
What
I don't
kind
know
of
if
damage does it do?
it does piercing.
Piercing is okay.
But so it's a martial finesse. So I don't know if that would work well for you or not.
Well, you see, the thing is, I'm very strong, and I'm exactly -2 dexterous.
Okay, I wasn't really sure. Okay. I
Fair
like
enough.
start to pull it out, and then I'm like, and then I just put it back.
We've
You'll
been
make it work.
traveling
It's fine.
together. You've definitely seen me trip over my own feet enough times to know that it is a bad idea to give me anything that requires any semblance of balance.
And Whispers looks around at all the logs and sticks. If only there were clubs around somewhere. If only.
This is really no time to be thinking about dancing. We are about to fight. Like
I
right
love
now
the flashing lights. And now I'm completely not paying attention to the fact that there could be a fight.
I also, so we're getting to the end of our time here. We're $775 away from 25,000, and I just saw a notification from James and Tricasso, who's running a game at the same time as us. He has challenged us to see which of our games can raise more money. I did not see that he sent this a while ago, but please don't let us lose to James.
Yeah.
Donate and make sure you mention that it is for our game and not his.
Darling Darla could never
help-
live with herself.
Exactly. Make sure that we are raising more money than James and Tricasso's game. I love James. This is not a statement on him. He's great. I play it in a Burn Bright stream, which is the game that he made. He's great, but we're going to destroy him, chat. Let's get those donations in. Get some wild magic surges going for this final fight, and let's see, or some rerolls if you want to be nice to everyone else. But yeah, get those donations in. Get us all the way.
We need it.
Oh, it sounds like Doug in Texas says that James called me out a couple of times in his game, and I was not paying. I didn't know because I'm in this one.
Oh,
all right, we're
wait
gonna
a
make
minute.
it. I know that
we
James.
needed to wait. Okay, so sorry. Quick timeout. Do we need to defend your honor?
I mean, that would be great.
If he's making us roll initiative, For you, we will. What do we need to do to win? Like, let's do this.
I
I'll
don't
defend you.
know what James's game has raised yet, so I think we just need to raise as much money as possible, as much as we possibly can. And I'm sure that James has already raised a ton. He's been doing this challenge, and we weren't even doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a crossover episode. So chat, get in there, raise all the money you can, get us those wild magic surges, get us those rerolls for this final battle. Let's do this.
Yeah, and let us know if there's anything you want us to do for your donation. Like, I can't juggle, but I'll try. So you just tell us.
Maybe more pranks happen while they're fighting.
Yeah, or more
Whatever you
puns
want.
or less puns.
Exactly. Get those donations in. Tell us what you're about. We're gonna make this happen.
Let's beat James and let's donate for a good cause. Let's do this.
Exactly. Let's crush James. And also
Yeah, let's
good cause
crush James
donations.
for good.
For good.
Crush
For the
James.
good of
For good.
everyone.
Yeah.
Trust James for goodness.
All right. So here we've got our fight going. Caladan, you are up first.
Perfect. That is exactly what I was hoping, because I'm going to just take a quick step forward, because it's now is the time, and since we're kind of at an important crossroads here, I feel like this is the moment to blow all of the magical spells. So I'm going to go ahead and just touch my weapon, and I'm going to cast magic weapon on my sword. So that it is does a little extra damage and will now be magical if that happens to have any effect on slime reproduction properties. So anyways, I'm gonna now that I've got a glowing sword, it's gonna shine with radiant energy. I'm gonna step forward and attack the first slime twice.
All right, roll your attack rolls.
All right. Yes, and I'll use an inspiration to what is that? An additional amount, or is that a reroll?
It's an extra,
Reroll.
Okay.
extra d20.
All right. But that is significantly better. That's a 14 to hit.
That will hit.
All right. And so that'll be 6 plus an additional. Let me just double check my my math here. It is an additional damage. So it is 7, and I'll go ahead and make my second attack.
So hold on, how much was there? Was 7 total?
It was just 7 slashing.
Okay.
And then I'll attack again at whichever one splits closest to me. We'll see.
It does split.
All right. So I'll just kind of pick one of the two halves and just kind of swipe at it again. And that is going to be a natural one, which means that I don't hit it, I don't think.
No, not with a 1.
All right. That's going to be my turn, I think. And I'll
All
just
right.
stand intimidatingly between the slimes and everyone else.
All right, well, those the slimes that you split are going up next, and they are both going to lash out at you. That is a 20 to hit
That'll hit.
and a 25 to hit.
It is also going to hit.
That is going to be 12 bludgeoning and 36 acid.
All right, it's not too bad.
And so I was forgetting to do your sword last time you fought the pudding, but now that you have a magical sword, it doesn't damage your sword to cut through it.
It was
does...
already magical. It's been magical
Okay.
the whole time.
Okay, perfect. So it doesn't damage your sword when you slice through it, but when it hits you, it does hit your armor.
Right, so I'll reduce that.
Cool. Yeah, corrodes your armor.
Perfect. Thank you.
All right, next is Darla.
Okay, so I am just kind of brushing up on some of my features. So I have Master of Tactics. So I would like to use that as a bonus action to help Kaladin on, or who's all near a slime right now, or pudding.
The puddings have sort of like crowded into the spring area and are basically like right in your faces.
Okay.
Right now, only the two smaller ones are in melee range because they like reached out to get to, or Caladan went to them and they like hit back. So the other two are also like super close. They're just outside of melee range, but they're all like you're all basically crowded amongst these slimies, these
Okay.
puddins.
I'll give the help action to Kaladin for his next. Because at this level, it can be anyone within 30 feet. So I'm just like, you should really try to hit them a little harder, maybe. In her darling darling way, she helps you. So that is my bonus action, and I will attack the one that is next to Kaladin. We'll go with the left one because good adventurers go left. That is a 22 to hit.
That'll hit.
And 6 piercing. I rolled a 1.
All right. Cool. Anything else for you?
No, I end turn. Thank you.
All right. Next is another pudding. And I also just heard we are behind James's game $110. We can do that, no problem, chat. Get in there,
Yes.
donate to a good cause, and help us crush James.
In the nicest way possible.
In the nicest way possible. Let's see. So this pudding is going to attack. Let's see. I'm gonna make it random. It is going to attack Darla. Darla. And that is. Why can I not hit you with these puddings?
Hair toss.
That is a 7 to hit. I've hit Caladan every single time, but they just can't seem to hit Darla.
Oh, you know what it is? My lip gloss is popping. My lip gloss is cool.
You standing at your locker and wait, the boys chase you after school? I forget the line.
Yeah, I don't know. That literally, I only know the 2 lines I said.
Well, something like that.
Yeah, it works. I like it.
All the boys keep stopping. They chase you after school. I think that's what it is. Anyway.
It's true though too. So.
And next is EO. Oh, I think you're muted.
How many slimes are there now?
There are currently 4. There are 2 bigger ones and 2 smaller.
Burning hands. Burning. Yeah, burning hands. So 15 feet, whatever I can get. 15 feet cone. Dex saving throw 15.
All right. Yeah, okay, that would get quite a few of them. Okay, well, the first one got 20. That one's hit. All right. And what's the damage?
That is 14. And any flammable objects in the area that aren't being carried or worn, fire everywhere.
Fire everywhere. All right. Yeah, you hit a couple of these puddings, and you can tell they did not like that. They don't like being on fire. They are not fans of that. One of them is very nearly destroyed. Let's see. Next is another pudding. So many puddings. And this one is going to go after The queen.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Are you tagging me or Uber?
Oh, that's a good question. How
Because the
is
armor
Uber
classes aren't the same. So
how is Uber holding the queen? Like if something were to slash
I
out, what would
had been riding on his head ever
Okay,
since.
then I guess it would go for Uber.
Okay. All right.
Oh geez. Okay, that is 7 to hit. It's
Uh,
apparently just Caladan that we're attacking in this house.
he's a very polite paladin. He's taking the hits. It's why we bring him.
All right, next up is Jin.
And just so I get this right in my head, there are two still large puddings in front of us and a couple of other small ones.
Correct. They're too big and too small.
So Jin steps forward. No one touches the queen. Pulls two caterpillar cocoons out, splits them, and using a twinning sorcery spell, if you can make a Wisdom 14 saving throw for each of the puddings, otherwise they're going to turn into something interesting. Now, if only we had someone in chat to recommend what they could turn into. Otherwise, I'm going to have to be unimaginative.
The queen says donate for bunnies. I really think you should donate for little bunnies. Delectable bunnies.
One of them got a 15 and the rest all got below 10.
So could I use my inspiration to cause that to re-roll? You say no, get lost.
I'm gonna say yes. Because I like that. I like the sound of that. All right, yeah, that is a 3.
That is a 3. So do you know what James paints in Burn Bright by any chance? What creature he appears in?
There are lots of creatures in Burn Bright. There's my favorite creature is a cute it's called the Blip. It's like a cute blue fox that can teleport.
So two very fat, stubby-legged foxes appear in place of the puddings. And Jin shouts out, just put them in a bag, don't hurt them.
All right.
So you get the two little fat foxes just sitting there in place of those. And that's it. That's it. 2 foxes instead of puddings, Jess.
And was that all of them or just the 2 small ones that you got?
The 2 big ones.
The 2 big ones.
Yeah. Yeah,
Gotcha.
the ones that are hassling our nice paladin.
So that was wild magic? Or is that a thing that lets me roll?
No, this is where you just roll because I've just cast a spell, so you get to roll and see what happens to me next.
Let's see. Oh, that's a d20. That's nothing.
I'll take that.
Yeah, I'm sure you would. Let's see. Your size increases by 1 size category for the next minute.
So I'm younger and taller, is what you're telling me.
Yes, that's exactly right.
Fantastic.
Yeah, this forest has been great for you, it seems like.
Like every dream come true. You just keep getting everything. It's going to rain money next.
And that's my go. Thanks, Jess. And then move backwards to the tree to protect it.
Sorry, I'm just making sure Twitter knows that they need to help us win.
Oh, I'm working on that with you, dear.
Excellent.
You got this.
Next is the queen.
All right, I will flutter up onto flutter myself a little bit and order Uber to assume his true form, and he will activate Radiant Soul. So fire will shoot from his eyes. He gets a nice glowy halo, which looks like a great safety rail for me while I'm riding him, and big fiery wings. And then he will withdraw up into the sky as a big giant fiery angel. Unfortunately, that is the withdraw. That's his action.
Okay.
Oh, I would like to take my action though to be I would like to look for the red fox person, who I assume is somewhere directing all of this.
Yes, you do see just behind some of the puddings that are fighting with Yolania and Kikena. You see near one of the trees a fox that is sort of like peeking out, just sort of like looking, observing what's going on.
I would like to telepathically forward that to my friends. So hopefully the other person that they don't know that I see them, be like, right there behind the tree.
Excellent. We did just get a 25 from Bigfoot, who says Team Jess for the win, and I'm going to use that for a wild magic surge.
Yay!
Another one, we'll see what it does and then see who it affects. So EO, for the next minute, you can see any invisible creature if you have line of sight to it.
How
You're
do
like a
I
trestle.
see invisible line of sight?
Just like
Question mark?
if you would be like looking in its direction, it becomes visible. Like you
Alright.
can't see anything like behind you, of course. It's just like if
Oh,
you
I
look
got
around,
you.
you'd be
So
able to
everything
see
in
it.
front of me is not invisible anymore. So, do I see anything that I didn't see before?
I'm gonna say yes, because I want this. Your last one was like that you can't get intoxicated, and that also wasn't useful. So I'm gonna say that yes. In fact, you do see a what do you see? Ooh, you see another one of those big rabbit like monstrosity creatures that seems to be sneaking up on the fox.
Ooh, I'm just gonna pretend that I don't see that. I'm fine with that. I was like, oh no, I don't see anything. Don't see any
I once again
rabbit
claim credit
creatures
for
at
this
all.
blessing, as you have Tressum vision visible.
Let's see. I got distracted with the wild magic surge. Was that Queen Silken Whisker went last, right?
Yeah.
So now we're back up to Caladan. And we're down to just the small puddings because the other two were turned into blips. Thanks, James. But also more specifically, thank you, Jen, because you did that. But thank you, James, for creating the blips.
Right. So, I'm going to probably take a look over at Jin, who's now taller and still looking somewhat remarkably better than previous. So, yeah, really wish that I was having that good of a time here in this forest, but I will. And I'll just kind of take a look at my armor and my just general surroundings, and then I'll notice that there are these two kind of fat foxes. And before they can go anywhere, I'd like to grab a bag and try to just pick them up and put them in a bag.
Sure, let's just do a dexterity contest. Roll dex for me, and I'll roll dex for them, and whoever gets higher wins.
Right. Yeah, this is going to go over real well. Does a 12 do it?
It does, because I rolled a 7.
Thank goodness. All right. Perfect. Yeah. So, in that case, I've got two foxes in a bag now, and I'll just kind of like try to tie them to like a spike or something on my armor, and that'll just keep them from going anywhere.
All right, now you've got 2 foxes in a bag on your shoulder. How long does this spell last?
An
Jen?
hour.
An hour. Okay, good.
Yeah.
So they're not going
An hour
to
of James.
suddenly turn back into puddings while they're on you, hopefully.
That would be an unpleasant surprise, to say the least.
That's a foxy bag, I gotta say.
For now.
Oh, for fox's sake. Fox's sake.
Are the foxes, are they seeing anything?
Say that again?
Are the foxes, what do they say? What did the foxes say?
They say they are making a lot of weird, strange noises in that bag. Sounds that you don't think you've heard foxes make sounds like that before. Sort of like a strange, like yodeling, trilling sound. It's very, very strange.
One of us will do that noise if you donate.
Or none of us will do it if you donate high enough.
Yeah.
If you don't want to hear us make that sound.
Yeah.
It's some kind of a strange species of fox.
Yes.
And I think since that'll be my action, I'll probably won't have a bonus action this turn because I am concentrating on a spell. And so that'll be my turn. I'll just kind of try to stand again, intimidatingly between the opponent and the rest of the party.
All right. All right, so we just have the 2 baby puddings left. Ooh, and we're $690 away from 25,000. Keep
Oh my
donating, chat.
gosh.
You are awesome. We're gonna get to 25,000 before the end of our game. It's only 15 minutes, but I believe we can do it.
We
Let's
got
make this
this.
happen.
Do it.
With the added bonus of beating James. All right, one of them is going to swing for... I'm sorry, Caladan. I did roll to try to make it random, but these puddings just really like you. Let's see. But that is a 12 to hit.
It's not going to hit. They'll miss.
All right. How do you manage to dodge a pudding?
Well, clearly I can't dodge a pudding, so I'd like to think that perhaps it just, as it attacks me, I'll just kind of swing, maybe not even realizing it's there, and just kind of like hit it with my shield, and then go, oh, I thought there was something there. Ah.
Excellent. And then I know that Queen backed away. Did anyone else back away from the fight, or are all the rest of you? Okay. So the next one goes for Darlin Darla.
Okay.
And that is a 10 to hit.
That does not hit.
Yeah, these puddings just will not hit you. And it looks like...
Hair toss.
Ooh, we got a matching $25 from Anonymous Team Jess. Let's go. Thank you. I'm
Yay!
taking that Wild Magic Surge because I love them. And I will never not take one if I can. Let's see. Ooh, you can take one additional action immediately. Let's see. Did we start Darla's turn yet?
No.
All right. Well, I think because it's immediately, I'm going to say that went to Caladan, actually, especially because he's taken the most hits from these puddings. I feel like he's earned it.
Yeah.
Totally fair. Totally fair.
Well, that's probably a terrible idea because I've still only got a sword. So, is there anything else I can do? Hold up.
Of course, you need a
I mean, you can
shield.
keep slashing them
Slash it.
smaller and smaller.
Right. It's just, it feels like, at this point, I'm going to make things even harder on ourselves. Could I, it's not even a good idea.
Whatever it is, I think it's a great idea.
Yeah. All right. You know what we're gonna do? We're just gonna yeah, all right. We're just gonna attack again. And because I get 2 attacks per action, I'll get to attack twice. So I'll just attack once more. It's a 15 to hit.
15 to hit will hit.
All right.
All right.
And it will be it'll be that is, oh goodness, I don't like that that's not there. Okay, and it'll be 8 slashing plus an additional 13 radiant damage.
13 radiant?
Yeah, an additional 13 radiant.
All right, you slash through one of these smaller oozes, and it starts to split again, but then that radiant damage just sears through it and it collapses. and falls into a little puddle of ooze.
All right.
And we just got from Assassin $65.
Thank you.
Thank you so much,
Fantastic.
Assassin.
Amazing.
And
Thank
we're
you,
in the
Assassin.
lead now.
I gotta tell you,
Yeah.
I just realized that my fiance is in the other game that we are going against. And let me tell you, he's in trouble.
Yeah, I hope you plan to have some words later.
Oh, they're gonna be words. Darla's gonna pull out her sass. So
So I rolled a 100, which is that you regain all expended sorcery points. I'm not sure any of you are sorcerers, so what we'll say is that you get all. Oh, you are a sorcerer, so then you regain any expended sorcery points.
Thank you.
All right. In that second attack, he's going to hit with a 26, and it'll be 6 damage, just for the record, to the remaining slime, which is now 2 slimes.
It is, but they're 2 very tiny slimes.
It's acceptable. Thank you.
All right, now it is Darla.
okay. Sorry, I was just gonna yell at Eric in Discord, but that could wait. I'm taking this very seriously. Jess, you are my queen. We will make sure you are reigning queen at the end of this.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'm sorry, I have not been focused enough. I'm very competitive. Is there are slimes still to attack?
There are
There's
2
still
tiny slimes.
Yeah, I end them. I shoot them with my longbow. Maybe hitting them. 14?
14 will hit.
Huzzah. 10 damage.
10 damage absolutely kills one of them.
Haha, amazing. And then I have a bonus action dagger. Would I have had to have fought with my dagger for the first attack to use that?
I don't think so.
Okay, good. I use my dagger for the other one then.
I don't remember for sure, but we're gonna say it's fine.
Really cool.
You can have a two-hand.
Awesome.
Yeah,
25 to hit
that'll hit.
and 3 damage.
3 damage. And what kind of damage does it do?
Piercing.
All right.
Yeah,
And
not.
next up is EO.
And so there's just 1 left or still 2 left?
Just 1.
Okay. Sure. I have faith. Double Eldritch Blast on the 1.
All right.
Ew. 7. Was a 7 hit?
A 7 does hit.
All right, cool. 7 hits. Another one definitely hits too. No. That is 21 altogether.
Awesome. Yeah, you completely demolished this last ooze. This last little pudding that was just barely struggling, just barely managing, and you just destroy this thing with your
Force damage.
heck yeah, you crush this thing.
Yeah.
Wow, we're getting lots of donations in.
And 100.
Oh
yeah,
no, someone
all
put
right.
in 40 to Team James.
No.
Oh, they're beating us now. We were in the lead for a little while. Chat, bring us
Oh.
back. I believe in us.
Come on, bring it back. Bring it back. I'll stop singing if that's what you need. Tell us what we can do. I will use Darlin's persuasion.
Wait.
Let's figure this out. I just threatened Eric through Discord, so letting him know he's on notice.
Wait. For Team Green, add 1 I don't know what this means. Beat Team Jess for Team Green and add 1 re-roll for each layer. Oh, I guess they mean player. That makes a lot more
Yeah.
sense than layer. It's not a cake. It's a D&D game.
Oh, and that was for James's team because it's saying
Oh.
beat Team Jess. Oof, that was a big one. I don't think we're gonna come back from that. 481 at the last minute. However, we did break 25K
We did.
That's what we
donations.
need.
Really what
That we're
matters.
all
And-
winners.
That's
That's the
exactly
resident.
right. We're all winners because we hit that 25K.
That's
That is
amazing.
a
There it is.
huge goal that
Lord.
you've raised for suicide awareness and prevention. That is incredible. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much, chat. We only have a few minutes left, but like if you're there, chat, and you're able to donate, it's not too late to help us beat James. We still have a shot at this. I believe in us.
I believe in us too, but it's all helping for such a wonderful cause, and it's just so amazing.
Got to
It
go.
is.
Also, let's solve this mystery of the trickster. This is ridiculous.
Exactly. So Io saw this invisible creature sneaking up on this fox. And as all of you finish off your fight, you hear a very strange sort of like sizzling sound and then a pop. And as you turn, you see Spark standing there, who's sort of being like bear hugged by this giant Almirage creature. And Eulania looks furious. You can sort of, even from where you're standing, you're kind of behind her, so you can't see her face, but you can see sort of like the branches of her hair and the bark of her skin almost like moving, because she's so angry, and you can't quite make out what she says to him, but you hear another sort of like sizzle and then another pop, and Spark becomes a fox again. And the creature that was holding Spark releases the fox, and he darts back off into the forest. And Eulania turns to see you and that you've defeated the oozes, and her trees and Kakena's creatures have also defeated their oozes. um, she turns to you and thanks you for your help. I'm giggling because Melody put another pun in our private chat. And Kaladin, matching it. Love it. Love to see it.
I said that she has resting birch face.
And I replied by saying, beach. Retreat.
Oh. Oh.
I'm pining here. We're all winners with these puns, with the over $25,000 raised. We're doing just the best here.
Everyone's a winner.
And as you watch the fox like darts off into the forest, you see the Almirage next to Eulania that you recognize now as Kakena. Its form sort of like shifts and moves, and you can see that it sort of grows into a humanoid figure, and a hand reaches out and gently caresses Eulania's face before it like snaps back into the form of an Almirage. And Eulania turns to all of you and says, "Thank you. I I can't believe I ever thought Kakena was behind this. Thank you for drawing out the true culprit. He won't be hurting anyone anymore."
You know him?
I don't. It seems he and she sort of like chuckles, and Kakena speaks up. He wanted to take my place as the trickster of this forest, but he was merely a shifter. He could not stand against a goddess. He tried to turn us against each other, to try to take my place. He won't be bothering anyone. We saw to that. And she sort of like looks slyly up at Eulania. And Eulania explains, we've taken his ability to shift. Now he's simply another fox in the forest. Smart, yes, but he can't do anything else. He can cause no further damage. And as thanks, do any of you have true sight?
I can see invisible things, but I don't think it's true sight though.
It's not, but we'll say it counts for this. So you, Io, you can see as Kakena bows her head and sort of like points her Almirage horn at all of you. You all feel just like a slight tingling in your head, but you don't really see anything. But Io, you can see that all of you have sprouted a spectral horn that looks exactly like an Almirage horn, which is invisible. None of you can actually see it. And she gives you this as her thanks. She tells you that if you can remove this at any time, but as long as you keep it on, you have my blessing. And this horn gives you a +1 bonus to Dex and Charisma.
What? So
Uh,
this was an AL game, right?
It is not.
Unfortunately, it's
Let
not.
me just
But
say, it is
you
not.
have this for funsies. Yeah, no, it is not, unfortunately. But you have it for funsies for like any other games that you play with these characters that are not AL games.
That's amazing.
She also gives each of you a small black folded up piece of fabric, which you recognize as a portable hole. And Eulania then summons one of her awakened trees and has it escort you back out of the forest. She says, thank you for your help. But now I must refill the spring and I must refresh the flowers. By the time you return to town, things will be back to normal now that the trickster is out. Um, and Kakena also sort of like chuckles and says that like any of the physical changes, so like those of you who have tails, even the flower crowns, if you want to keep those, if you want them to be permanent, they can be. Otherwise, she removes them and gets you back to how you were before. And when you return to town, you do see what you expected to see when you first arrived. As you get back, you can smell the fragrance of flowers, of fresh herbs. You can see every inch of this. All of the buildings are completely covered in beautiful flowers and incredible growth. And Halek finds you and thanks you and gives each of you rewards, which we won't cover right now because we are over time, and I think some of you are in games after this, but I'll put it in our Discord later. But thank you all so much for joining us. Thank you all so much for donating, for helping us raise money with Jasper's Game Day. It was so much fun to see you all. I hope our adventurers had a great time playing. I hope those of you in chat, you enjoyed the game. Thank you all so much. Do you want to do just one quick round? Tell everyone who you are and where to find you.
Sure, I can go first.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up? My name is Josh. Today I played Caladan. You can find me on the internet, most places at Joshua M. Simons, or on Twitch here at just Joshua Simons. Someone stole the letter M from my name. It's mysterious. When I'm not playing D&D, I write and release some of my own supplements, and I stream on my channel and other channels as well.
Thank you. Greg, what about you?
Sure. I'm Greg Marks. I'm the content manager for Wizards of the Coast D&D Adventures League. If you want to get a hold of me, you can send me emails at content@dndadventuresleague.org, or follow me on Twitter at Scarrett7H3Green. I regret that Twitter handle from many years ago so much.
Melody, where can people find you?
Y'all can find me at Twitter, Melody Joy Joy. I am so pleased to be a part of this wonderful convention and to help such a wonderful cause. Jasper is near and dear to my heart, and I just enjoy gaming with you all so thoroughly. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. Bless your heart.
And Matt.
Hey, Matt, Impact RPG on Twitter too. I'm running like games for Dragon Con and what else? Dragon Con, D&D Celebration, and PAX. So if you want to play some D&D, check that out.
Awesome, thank you. And Chris, where can people find you?
Don't worry about finding me. I just want to say a huge thank you to Jess and the other players in this for such a brilliant event. Thank you for everybody in chat for putting money forward to this. Absolutely amazing. $25,000, absolutely brilliant. Support creators like Jess and everybody else out in the crew. Back to you, Jess.
Thank you. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, Daddy Warbucks, for hosting this awesome game. You can find me on Twitter at WriteJessR, WRITE Jessr. Thanks everyone so much, and keep adventuring.
Thank you, Eric. You're
Thanks,
in
guys.
trouble. Thank you
Bye
so much.
everyone.
Bye.